Death, taxes and Coventry scoring goals. Those are three certain things in life right now, Perry.
Yeah, very much so. Now you just look and you listen to Frank Lampard there. He just sounds very calm. And the Coventry owner, Doug King, obviously Mark Robbins, he sacked him. And criticism he had of Mark Robbins, he did a brilliant job, obviously, at Coventry, getting them promoted from League One, getting them to FA Cup semi-finals. But he said Coventry always start the season very, very slowly. They're always round about 16th and 17th. I think Frank Lampard said there in his interview, he took over, and they were 17th. And he said the biggest thing that he wanted to see change was he wanted them to start the season really well. He couldn't have asked for any more than that, could he? Like 7 points clear. They lost against Wrexham. They didn't blink. They've won the last 5. And Dance and I were lucky enough to see him against Charlton last week at home, and they went 1-0 down, and it was a team that was very, very calm and very assured. They just carried on playing, with confidence. They got themselves back in the game, equaliser from Eccles, and then Sims got his brace of goals to win them the game. And that is because they trusted each other and they trust the manager. So at the moment for Coventry, everything is in sync.
Everything is going well for Coventry, but we're only in December. There's a lot of football still to be played. So how do you keep focused? I mean, you've been a part of a title-winning team a couple of seasons. So how do you keep focused on the day-to-day matters and not think too far ahead?
Well, that's it. You just try and influence what's in your control. Whatnot. You get sort of shut out the outside noise. You hope that the players drive each other on. You're looking for leaders. And from Frank Lampard's point of view, he'll be looking in January transfer window that Doug King backs him, because as Dan said there, he's got 2 goalkeepers on the bench today, and that's a sort of to the owner, well, excuse me, we need more players. So he needs a couple coming in. It's all about these players now keeping the standards that they have and not dropping off. And if they do, then especially in the forward areas, Frank Lampard's got the quality to change it. So these players know they have to be at a very high standard even to get themselves in the starting 11.
OK, don't forget Talksport. We'll keep you across all the football and the cricket this weekend. Right now, Game Day Live is over on Talksport with Adrian Durham, taking you around the grounds in the Premier League and EFL. But here on Talksport 2, we are at Portman Road for live and exclusive EFL Championship football on the home of the EFL. That is Talksport 2. So coming your way, it is Ipswich against the league leaders, Coventry. Let's hand you to a commentary team. The former Arsenal winger Perry Groves is alongside Ian Danter.
Thank you, Natalie, and a very good afternoon to you, wherever and however you're listening to TalkSport 2 for our second exclusive EFL commentary of the afternoon, as we welcome you to Portman Road in Suffolk. The travelling Coventry City fans opposite us in the Cobbold stand, no doubt already dreaming of their beloved team finally making a Premier League return after 24 long years away. But the Ipswich fans here around them will doubtless be quick to remind them that it isn't necessarily all sunshine and roses when you do get there. That's all after the harrowing experience they went through last year, Ipswich, having been deprived of top-flight football for a generation here as well. It's quite clear that all 3 relegated sides are suffering a hangover in this championship campaign, but Ipswich are doing best of all, starting the weekend in 7th. They were 5 points off Middlesbrough before Middlesbrough's thumping win at Hull last night. They are 10 points, a further 10 points, so 15 behind today's visitors at the top. After 3 games away from here in the past week or so, with a win, loss and a draw to show for it, Kieran McKenna looking for a better connection between his players to get an upturn in form. 5 changes made for the 1-1 draw at Blackburn on Tuesday. 5 changes again this afternoon. The front 4 is entirely different, and Darnell Furlong comes in at the back for the veteran Ashley Young. Christian Walton is the Ipswich keeper. It's Darnell Furlong, Dara O'Shea, Cedric Kipre and Leif Davis in the back 4. Jack Taylor and Azor Matasiwa are the holding midfielders. And then the new front 4 from Tuesday night is Sindra Egerle, who got the late equaliser at Ewood Park, Marcelino Nunez, Jayden Philogene and George Hurst. Coventry are without top scorer Brandon Thomas Asante for 6 weeks with a hamstring injury. Haji Wright, second top scorer, is fit enough to be on the bench today, having been suffering with a hip problem. Frank Lampard is deprived of another player, though. 1 change forced on him today from the 3-1 win we brought you last Saturday against Charlton. Victor Torp is out, not in the squad. That's a big blow in midfield. Kane Kessler-Hayden comes in for him, and it's looked like he's coming in his position in defensive midfield. We'll wait and see once the game gets underway. Carl Rushworth is the Coventry keeper. Milan Van Eyck, Bobby Thomas, Liam Kitching, Jay Da Silva is the usual back four. Grimes and Kessler Hayden, we assume, will be the holding midfielders. And then Eccles, Rodoni and Mason Clark behind Ellis Sims in attack. 5 goals in 3 games for Everton. Our referee today is Paul Tierney from Lancashire, a former Premier League regular, missed all of last season through injury. Perry and me sat in position A in the West Stand here at Portman Road as Coventry in their change trip of all fluorescent orange get us underway. Coventry will be kicking towards the Sir Bobby Robson stand away to our left-hand side in this first half. Ipswich in their traditional blue shirts and socks and white shorts, they're heading for the Sir Alf Ramsey stand to our right in this first period. Yeah, we're bang on the halfway line, halfway up in the stand. Perfect position to bring this game to you this afternoon, and we'll keep you up to date with goals going in elsewhere in the 3 o'clocks in the Premier League, the EFL and in the FA Cup round 2 this afternoon. First question then, Perry Groves, is it still a 4-2-3-1 or are they playing 3 at the back, Coventry City?
Well, it just looks like at the moment it's the 4 at the back. We've got Van Eyck over in the right back position, but Kessler Hayden is just playing in front of him. So
it does look like the same, doesn't it? 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, it's just very fluid for Coventry City. Obviously, when they're in possession, they always push Da Silva on this left-hand side, high up the pitch. They do the same with Van Eyck. They're just like Kessler Hayden, say, playing on that right-hand side, just to give that little bit more protection.
Ball's infield and headed away strongly for Ipswich Town, and Kessler Hayden is giving chase for Coventry City down the inside right channel, held up by Matasiwa, so it's tucked in field. And a chance for Ipswich to, well, they try and bring it away, but straight away it's back with the Coventry goalkeeper Carl Rushworth on loan from Brighton and Hove Albion. And he sends it downfield, but it's picked up by Azor Matasiwa, who is the replacement for the aforementioned Sam Morsey, who I was talking about before kick-off. Minute gone, 0-0.
Yeah, just like obviously Coventry City, Grimes will be the deepest lying midfield player with Eccles alongside him. And last week Rodoni played obviously on the right hand side. This week he looks like he's going to play in the 10 in behind Ellis Sims. So you've just got to be aware of that, of him trying to get in between the lines.
Long ball down the Ipswich left, trying to get Philogene away, but it's one back comfortably by Coventry. Van Eyck tries to send the ball through the inside right channel for Sims, but out comes Christian Walton, the Ipswich keeper, and half volleys it downfield, but it will come back with no Coventry player closing down Cedric Kipre. Very West Brom look to this Ipswich defence these days, with Furlong and O'Shea part of it, and Dara O'Shea looking to release Sindra Egley down this right hand side. 17 million quid from Nord-Jylland, but scored his first important goal for the club, getting that equaliser at Blackburn. And speaking to Matt Holland, our Talksport colleague, and he's got a lot of time for this kid, thinks he's going to go an awfully long way in the game.
Yeah, I think he's very good technically dancing, he's very good 1v1s playing this right hand side of Ipswich, 4-2-3-1.
Now here's Kessler Hayden making a run through the inside right channel again. Walton, the Ipswich keeper, straight outside his area to clear. Kitching heads forward. Ellis Sims fouls O'Shea in the middle of the Ipswich half, so the hosts get themselves a free kick. Earlier today in the Premier League, win for Aston Villa against Arsenal. Sorry, Perry, I've got to mention it. It's in the contract.
Can't we have a Villa free zone? Because you're not exactly a massive fan of Villa yourself.
No, but they've gone within 3 points of Arsenal with that late Emi Buendia winner. Leicester winning 3-1 at Derby. Here you heard that on Talksport 2. Charlton Portsmouth was abandoned because of a medical emergency in the stands in the Valley early on in the game, and we do wish the individuals involved in that incident well. Watford, last gasp winner against Norwich City to win 3-2. Cardiff stay top of League One. They beat Huddersfield 3-2. Bradford are hot on their heels. They won by a goal to nil at Plymouth, and Colchester and Gillingham drew 0-0, whilst Arsenal's women got back-to-back wins in the WSL, beating Liverpool 2-1. Liverpool's women still have not won in the WSL. First goal's gone in the 3 o'clocks. It's gone in at Hill Dickinson. Everton lead Nottingham Forest by a goal to nil. An own goal by Nikola Milenkovic puts Everton ahead. Saw them win at Bournemouth on Tuesday night. The first manager, David Moyes, ever to win in the Premier League at Bournemouth for Everton. Now down has gone Darnell Furlong, caught by Ephraim Mason-Clark. Free kick to Ipswich. Game hasn't settled down here yet in these early stages. 0-0. We played 4.5 minutes.
No, it's both teams just trying to get themselves in the ascendancy. From Coventry City's point of view, they're not overplaying at the moment. It's been a couple of times he's just put it in the channels, especially on that right hand side for Kessler Hayden to try and get on. But say it's just a little bit scrappy.
Here's Matt Grimes tidily tucking it back to De Silva. Grimes feeds it up to Mason-Clark, who's pulled down by Furlong. That's a free kick to Coventry, which they've taken quickly. Rodoni bursting down this near left-hand side, being held up now by Matusiwa, so it's worked back to the halfway line and Bobby Thomas. Preston 0, Wrexham 1 in the Championship. Kiefer Moore gets the opener for Wrexham at Deepdale. And Bournemouth lead Chelsea by a 1-0. Antoine Semenyo in the early minutes at the Vitality Stadium.
I think that's his first goal involvement for about 7 Premier League games. He started the season flying, didn't he, Semenyo?
He was one of the few bright sparks in Bournemouth's team on Tuesday night, in fairness.
Yeah, got his brace up at Anfield, didn't he, when
he
got themselves back into the game 2-2, lost 4-2.
Oh, it's been ruled out. As soon as we say that, offside says new.
Gone too
Computer
early,
says new. I know, goals as they're ruled out on Talksport 2. Bournemouth 0, Chelsea 0, it remains.
He's not all that Anton Semenyo, to be fair, is he?
No.
Gets caught offside a lot.
Throw in for Ipswich Town, 0-0, 6 minutes gone on Talksport 2. He's trying to find Egley with the ball hurled right into the centre circle from the right back position, but Coventry recycle it well, but back it goes into the Ipswich half, and it's just nodded back to Christian Walton, the Ipswich keeper. So just a point off the playoffs at the start of the weekend. Ipswich won their last 3 against Coventry City. They did the double the last time these two teams met in Ipswich's promotion season. And here's Jayden Philogene. Lovely first touch on the left-hand side. Skips past Van Eyck. Thought he was leaving the ball for Davis, who's with him. And Davis has dispossessed Van Eyck, who temporarily won it back. Now Philogene darting down the left-hand side of the box. Pulls it across the face of goal, but straight into the path of Matt Grimes. His clearance upfield was intended for Sims, but won back by Kipre. And back it goes to halfway and Dara O'Shea. Ipswich now working the ball from left to this near side, the right, with Ipswich attacking the Sir Ralph Ramsey stand in this first half. 0-0.
Dance all started the attack there for Ipswich Town. An unbelievable pass from Nunes with the outside of his left foot from the centre circle. Just put a little bit of fade on it, got it out to Philogene on the left-hand side. Little 1-2 with Leif Davis, but Philogene couldn't quite pick the right pass.
Southampton 1, Birmingham City 0 in the Championship. Finn Azaz, Tonda Eckhart now a permanent Southampton manager, and they lead already. And in the FA Cup, Grimsby are 1-0 up against National League Wealdstone, who were 8 unbeaten. Jay's Cabia for Grimsby.
Drop my name stat of the day.
Go on then, you've always got one.
There have been 19 goals scored in the last 4 league meetings between Southampton and Birmingham at St Mary's. Saints scoring 12, conceding 7, now obviously conceded 8.
Brilliant. 1-0 there, 0-0 here on Talksport 2. Coventry trying to send the ball into the box, intended for Mason-Clark, but it was a very comfortable catch for Christian Walton. And the Ipswich fans saying, get it upfield. But they're sitting rather deep, Ipswich, at least the back 4 were. They didn't push out that quickly once the ball went into Walton's arms. And it's only now with Cedric Kippo who's flicking it out to Leif Davis on the far left-hand side, looking to get Philogene away, but Coventry will get possession back and work it back to their keeper Rushworth. 8 minutes gone on Talksport 2, 0-0 here.
Yeah, Coventry a very good out of possession dance, because when it's with the Ipswich Town goalkeeper Walton, they just go man for man, especially looking at Udoni, who's obviously playing is the 10. When Coventry out of possession, he goes right onto Matusiwa, because Matusiwa is the one who wants to get Ipswich ticking along. You mentioned about Sam Morsey, didn't you? He was a conductor when Ipswich were flying. Matusiwa was been brought in to do that, but Rodoni's just staying in and around at the moment, so Ipswich can't get their passing movements going.
Matusiwa cost thick end of 10 million quid from Rennes in the summer. Now Coventry are under pressure, and Ipswich have won a throw almost level with the 18-yard line on this near side. Nunez takes it quickly. Egley got a bit of space to run at the right-hand corner of the penalty area, cuts in field on his left and gets a shot on target. Comfortable save from Rushworth in front of goal, but a signal of intent from Sindra Egley for Ipswich. 0-0.
Yeah, good play from Egley from this right-hand side. Quick throw from Nunez, just picking it up, cutting in onto his left foot. He really should be starting the ball maybe a couple of yards outside Rushworth's far right-hand post, but then it just gets his left foot through it, goes straight through to Rushworth. Simple save.
It's tucked down by Jack Taylor in the centre circle for Kipre. Out to Davis, left-hand side, who chips it infield. Hurst tries to cushion a header down for the run of Taylor, who continued to run forward, but the header was too firm, went bouncing straight through to the Coventry keeper, Rushworth. 0-0.
I think Hurst just has have a little bit more awareness dance around him, because when the ball came into him, there wasn't a Coventry player within 5 yards of him. He actually took it down on his chest, kept possession, tried to have a little layoff with his head, give the ball away.
Good header from Ellis Sims for Coventry, out to this left-hand side, where it's made its way through to Rodoni. He flicks it infield for Mason Clark. Left-hand corner of the penalty area, now drifting further into the centre of the half. Leaves it for Josh Eccles. Eccles making a strong run up to the edge of the D. And then it's laid back to Matt Grimes. Strokes it out to Jay Da Silva joining in on this left-hand side for Coventry City. Rodoni trying to play ball through the legs of Furlong, but Furlong was wise to that, and it's deflected out of play for a throw to Coventry on this near side. And it will be Milan van Ewijk trotting over from the far side of the field, there right, because he's the long throw specialist for the league leaders.
Well, if he can take a long throw, obviously he'll wipe the ball on his jersey, and he's actually pushed all the Coventry players well inside the 6-yard box. So you've got to make sure, if you're telling them, you know, just to back away a little bit, to at least miss the front man.
So Van Ewijk preparing to take this throw, but not quite level with the 18-yard line. I think that's what he wanted, but he was bidded back a couple of yards by the referee. In it comes from Van Ewijk. Long throw right into the arms of Walton, who claims it well under no real pressure. Sheffield United lead Stoke by 1-0 in the Championship. Mark McGuinness. And here come Ipswich with Leif Davis, who in the promotion season a couple of years ago was the assist king. Hasn't really got involved either last season or this nearly as much with the assists. Nunez cleverly lays it back to Matasiwa, who spreads play out to this near side, the Ipswich right, and Eggerly faced up by Mason Clark, nicks it in field for Nunez. Wanted to give it to Darnell Furlong, but he knew that Furlong was offside down that right hand side, so O'Shea tries to find Furlong down the right hand side with a rather telegraph pass that just trickled straight out of play for a Coventry City throw. We played nearly 12 minutes at Portman Road on your home of the EFL Talksport 2. It's Ipswich 0, Coventry 0. Perry Groves.
Yeah, O'Shea just trying to force it a little bit too much there. Ipswich had good possession on this left-hand side. Came into Eggerly, and then Furlong went on the overlap, and I think maybe just roll him in. De Silva did really well for Coventry, just track the runner. Then Ipswich have to then check back. And it comes out to Nunez, gives the ball away, back to O'Shea, and O'Shea just rolls it out of play, enables Coventry to recycle the ball.
Offside against Ephraim Mason Clark for Coventry down the left-hand side, just down beneath us. Both managers directly beneath our commentary position, pacing their technical areas. Frank Lampard to the left, Kieran McKenna to the right. This, one of our festive 50 of live fixtures on TalkSport and TalkSport 2 from Premier League, EFL, Champions League and beyond, as we take you up to Christmas and then into 2026 and a World Cup in North America. We will have every game next summer. You've seen the groups, you've seen who England and Scotland have definitely got, we've seen who Wales, Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland might get if things go their way in the playoffs. All very exciting, and we will bring you every kick of the World Cup next summer. And they're just sorting out who plays where today. I'm sure that will come out in the wash. Just go to talksport.com and find out all the deets that you need.
Rio Ferdinand will be all over it, he'll be fine. He's got it all sorted out, all the pathways for Scotland and England. Actually, watching that draw last night, I thought I was on an acid trip. Honestly, I thought it was like the world equivalent of the Eurovision Song Contest.
It was interesting.
It was entertaining.
In one way, yeah. Ball cleared out of play by Bobby Thomas for Coventry. So Ipswich will have a throw bang on halfway. In the FA Cup, Wigan lead against Barrow. James Carragher. Yes, he is. He gives Wigan the lead against the side from League 2. And Cheltenham 0, Buxton 1. So the side from National League North lead at League 2 Cheltenham. Ty Soji. Now, Jaden Philogene offside as he tried to burst down the left-hand side of the Coventry penalty area for Ipswich. So the Sky Blues, well, they're not Sky Blues today, they're fluorescent orange. They get a free kick, 0-0.
Another name stat of the day?
Which is on what game?
Cheltenham Buxton.
Oh, right, yeah.
Cheltenham have been knocked out 5 times in our 7 FA Cup ties against non-league teams. The last time 2-1 at home against Ipswich, November 2022. And who was the absolute legend who started his career at Ipswich?
Alan Smith.
Spot on. So you can't pull all over your eyes, can I? And you're quite
Sometimes
happy.
you can.
You're quite happy with little self there, aren't you? You're having a little smile.
I only know that because I went to a sporting dinner at Ipswich FC once, and he was the guest speaker. So it's, didn't take much working out.
Yeah, but you're doing research, see?
Yellow card for George Hurst for a foul on Bobby Thomas just over the halfway line. So our first yellow card of the afternoon goes to the Ipswich striker.
I think it's just a little bit of frustration from George Hurst there. Hasn't had a lot of service, obviously, in this first 15 minutes. Laura's Ellis Sims up front for Coventry City. You can tell that Kieran McKenna has told his Ipswich Town team to go out and get in the faces of the Coventry players. Make sure that you're competitive and win your 50-50s.
0-0. Grimes free kick up to the edge of the area. Ipswich get it clear, but straight back to the centre circle. Grimes picks it up just to the right of that, tries to dart beyond Nunez, works it out to the right-hand side where Kessler Hayden tucks it back infield to Rodoni. Grimsby 2, Wealdstone 0 now in the FA Cup. Kieran Green with a second for the Mariners. Here's Van Eyck in his own half for the league leaders.
Just looking at Coventry, Dan, so when you're in position, they actually go 5 up front. That's like going back to like the 1966 World Cup.
Inverting the pyramid.
Yeah. Very, very positive when they're in possession.
Although they're missing Victor Torp today from their central midfield. Oh, that's good skill from Ephraim Mason-Clark, and good strength as well. De Silva tucks it in field, but then Mason-Clark, having won the ball and spread play out to the left-hand side, then barged over Darnell Furlong, and now a yellow card's been issued to Josh Eccles for kicking the ball away after the whistle had gone from Paul Tierney.
It's ridiculous from Josh Eccles, say there, because Mason-Clark has fouled Matasuwa. Quite rightly, Paul Tierney, referee, gives the free kick. So just a bit of frustration from Mason-Clark. And about 5 seconds afterwards, Eccles thinks, I'll have a shot. And if you're going to have a shot, mate, make sure you hit the target and go straight to the goalkeeper, then you don't get booked.
0-0 on Talksport 2 with the league leaders in town, Coventry City, here at Portman Road. Long ball downfield looking for Hurst, but sails over his head. Rushworth comes out just beyond his 18-yard line and volleys the ball downfield, looking to get Kessler Hayden away, but that was really well defended for Ipswich by Leif Davis. Taylor trying to win a throw off Rodoni, can't do so, and Coventry have it back on halfway with Grimes. He tried to slide the ball out to Kessler Hayden, but it was intercepted by Philogene. Now Nunez trying to bring the ball down in the centre circle, wanted a foul, nothing doing, says the referee, and then he finally does give a foul for handball against Nunez, and Coventry have a free kick bang in the centre circle. 0-0 the score on Talksport 2.
Kitchen, the Coventry centre-half, has actually got away with them one there, Dance. When it comes into Nunez in the centre circle, he takes a really good touch initially with his left foot, and Kitchen comes in and with both hands pushes him to the floor. I don't know why Paul Tierney hasn't given the free kick to Ipswich Town. Instead, he gives it against Nunez, because I think he just had a little kick out at Kitchen when he was on the floor.
Not happy with the quality of the ball. Matt Grimes, he's thrown the one he was using, to the near touchline and asked for a fresh football. St Mirren lead Dundee United in the Scottish Premiership, and the top two play tomorrow. Celtic and Hearts locked together on 32 points, but Celtic have a game in hand. Grimes with Coventry's free kick, headed forward by Thomas, but it goes behind. He was trying to head it back across goal, but it came off the side of his head more than anything for Coventry, and Ipswich have a goal kick. In the atmosphere, well, you can hear it, they're just waiting for something to happen, I think, here, Perry, some of the fans, but particularly the Ipswich fans on 3.5 sides of the ground. 0-0.
It's perfect with your Frank Lampard and Coventry City, because exactly what you do, you want to quieten your home crowd down. It's exactly what Coventry have done. There's only been one shot so far in this first 8.5 minutes. That was from Egley, shot it straight at Rushworth. So as you said there, the Ipswich Town fans are looking for something to, get behind, a little bit of inspiration.
Well, Hurst firing it to the feet of Egley, but that's good working back from Ephraim Mason-Clark to dispossess Egley on halfway, and Coventry City have it again. Jay De Silva just flicks it out to the left-hand side for Rodoni, right to the challenger Matasiwa. Rodoni thought about going for goal, squares it right for Eccles, who's dispossessed by Philogene. Now worked up to Hurst at the edge of the centre circle, but a heavy touch allows Eccles to win it back. Coventry have it again then, right-hand side, Kessler Hayden. leaves it for Rodoni, who'll just chip it down the right-hand side of the box, brought down brilliantly by Eccles, and hits the frame of the goal and goes behind for a goal kick to Ipswich Town. But lovely build-up play from the leaders on the right-hand side. Kessler Hayden, Rodoni and Eccles all involved, but just couldn't get the final effort across the face of goal. That was the intent, but it just bristled the side netting on its way behind, 0-0.
Obviously, Rodoni has got the freedom just to float in and around Ellis Sims. Started off on this left-hand side. He cut inside Matasewa. I think he should have got his shot away down to his right foot, and then he takes another touch, rolls it to Eccles, and it has to go back. Then Rodoni ends up on the right-hand side. It's a great little sort of Odegaard sort of left-foot dink into Eccles. Can't quite get on the end of it and get his shot away. We're just going to Jack Rodoni dance. He was lucky enough, he played his first full game for a while last week, didn't he, against Charlton. And he's one of those players who looks like he's playing in a testimonial game. You know, when the game just slows down sort of half a yard and a yard around him, he's very, very good on the ball.
Thoughts of Perry Groves, former Arsenal title winner, on Talksport 2 this afternoon alongside me, Ian Dante, here at Portman Road. England in the cricket still need 43 runs to avoid an innings defeat. They've only got 4 second innings wickets left after day 3 of the second test down under. Got a bit of live Formula E for you once we're done here. We're off to Brazil at 5 o'clock here on Talksport 2. The opening round of the Formula E Championship is in Sao Paulo. John Jackson and Lewis McGlade will be your commentary team. As a Coventry substitute, Jay Bidwell is just drying the ball on his substitute.
You say Jay Bidwell?
Yeah.
He's used his Bidwell there.
He has used his Bidwell for Van Avite to hurl a long throw into the box. Out comes Walton, the keeper, claims it very, very well just in front of his 6-yard line. 0-0 it stays on Talksport 2.
Dan, do you know what? To be fair to Van Avite, that is a really good long throw. And it's the second time he's done it, and the second time that Walton's done brilliantly for Ipswich. The Ipswich Town goalkeeper come placks out of the air, but Coventry have to put a player in front of him. They have to put like the nuisance value to stop him coming and claiming the ball.
Philogene trying to dart down the left-hand side of the area, but the ball intended for him was overhit and trickled behind for a goal kick. Ipswich were as high as 4th last month after they won at Hull City before the recent run away from home. And Kieran McKenna has noted more chances and shots that Ipswich have had than in the promotion season, as well as fewer conceded, but it's just not quite clicking. But being as they are just outside the playoffs, it could be an awful lot worse.
That was a little sign there when it comes to Leif Davis in the left back position. He's just trying to roll it into Philogene in the inside left, and all he's got to do, it's only a 25-yard pass, just to roll it down the touchline and just bend it inwards, and he just hit it far too hard, and the ball goes out for a goal kick. And you can hear the frustration, can't you, from the Ipswich fans?
Because when in the promotion season, Leif Davis managed 18 assists for Ipswich. He's got 1 assist so far this season and 1 goal which he scored last week at Oxford. 0-0 as we reach the midway point of the first half here on Talksport 2 in the Championship. Coventry City, the leaders, keeping the home fans quiet with the game at no score. Kessler Hayden will throw the ball back into play, and Thomas swiftly turns and hooks the ball back to his keeper Rushworth. Dundee 0, Aberdeen 1 in the Scottish Premiership. Adil Aushish puts the Dons ahead, and Motherwell lead Livingston by a goal to 0. Elliot Watt for the Mothers, and Grimsby 3-0 upon Wealdstone in the FA Cup second round. Now here on halfway for Coventry City is Josh Eccles. Finds Grimes, and then back it goes to Bobby Thomas. A diagonal ball looking for De Silva, and Coventry haven't quite got their radar right either in this opening quarter of the game. That's an overhit pass intended for Jay De Silva. Leads to an Ipswich Town throw that Darnell Furlong, who's their long throw specialist, will take, but he won't be able to reach the penalty area from where he is, midway point of his own half. 0-0 on your home of the EFL, Talksport 2.
If he could, he'd be challenging a Tom Brady. That would be like a Hail Mary, wouldn't it, from just inside his own half.
Now George Hurst trying to roll Liam Kitching, goes to ground, he's pushed him over. Paul Tierney spotted it. There was a forearm in between the shoulder blades of Liam Kitching's back as Hurst tried to get ahead of him. Free kick to Coventry City. Mentioned those FA Cup goals for Grimsby. We've got live FA Cup football for you tomorrow. National League Boreham Wood at home to Notts County, followed by NFL live Colts at the Jaguars in the AFC South at 5 p.m, and then first thing Monday morning, Will Gavin's pick the Houston Texans at the Kansas City Chiefs. That's 1 a.m. Sunday night to Monday morning, your NFL action. Southampton 2, Birmingham City 0. Adam Armstrong doubles Southampton's lead at St Mary's in the Championship. Ipswich give the ball away on halfway to Coventry. Grimes. Then he loses out to Nunez, working back hard. O'Shea tries to spot the run of Philogene down the left-hand side. He's picked him out really well, but Van Eyck gets goal side, gets in between man and ball and guides it back to his keeper, 0-0.
It's a brilliant ball from O'Shea, just sweeping out to that left-hand side. Philogene just tries to take it down with like a little Cruyff touch, or maybe just go a bit basic and get the ball out of the air. In the end, it was really good defending by Van Eyck for Coventry on their right-hand side. Said about Southampton, that's the 6th time on the trot they've scored 2 goals or more.
That's why Eckhart got the gig permanently after his interim spell. They did lose last time out, but there were 4 wins before that he'd masterminded. Ball's back with Carl Rushworth. 25 minutes gone on Talksport 2. If you're just tuning into EFL Game Day Live, we've already brought you Leicester's excellent 3-1 win at Derby County at lunchtime. Here, Coventry City, the leaders of the Championship, 0-0 with Ipswich, but pushing forward Coventry with De Silva. Down the left wing for Mason Clark. First time cross into the box. Kessler-Hayden with a header puts it wide. From a standing start, didn't even jump Kane Kessler-Hayden. Tried to guide it back from whence it came, and it went the wrong side of the angle of post and bar. And it's a goal kick to Ipswich Town, 0-0.
Best move of the game so far, Dance, and Coventry's left-hand side. De Silva just carrying the ball, making sure he just flicks it the outside left foot to Mason Clark. Picks the right choice with his left foot, just dinks up to far post. Kessler-Hayden comes in, he's completely unmarked. No conviction, Dance, in the header whatsoever. Looked like he had a crash helmet on, because he should be heading it with his forehead. He's headed it with the top of his head. It's gone over Walton's goal. So the best chance of the game so far, just a really, really poor header at the far post from Kessler-Hayden.
Wasn't as close to the angle of post and bar as I first thought from the angle we had. It was well wide. Ipswich give the ball away. You can hear the groans around us as Coventry have it back on halfway with Kessler-Hayden. Now Rudoni popping up on the right wing. Infield it goes to Eccles at the right-hand corner of the box. Then Rudoni tries to turn it infield looking for Sims. And Ipswich, again, a no-look clearance from the back goes straight to a Coventry player on halfway. Here is Josh Eccles. Out to the right-hand side and Van Eyck. Tottenham 1, Brentford 0. Richarlison as Thomas Frank takes on his old club at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Can they sort their home form out today? They lead, and we'll have them in Champions League action on Tuesday night against Atalanta at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Here on Talksport 2, where Coventry City have got a free kick. 27 minutes gone, 0-0. It's about 15 yards inside the Ipswich half of the field, to the right of centre. Accrington 1, Mansfield 0 in the FA Cup. That's League 2 leading League 1, Isaac Heath with the opening goal for Stanley. Kessler-Hayden's going to take this free kick. Right-footed, swings it up to the edge of the area. Kitching was the target. Hurst got the first head to it. Drops at the edge of the box. Thomas. Oh, lovely backheel, trying to get his teammate in. And then the shot from the distance at the edge of the area from Eccles smacks against the foot of the post. And Ipswich survive. Eccles has it again. 20 yards out, finds Mason Clark. Goes for goal, and it's tipped over by Walton, who could do nothing about the shot from Josh Eccles, but watch it thump against the base of the post and back into play. Coventry end up with only a corner to show for it, 0-0.
Really unlucky there from Josh Eccles on the edge of the 18-yard box as the ball come out to him. He's just got his foot wrapped around it. Dance on first look, I think Walton might got a little touch onto the post, come back off the post, recycled it, and then Walton tips the shot over the crossbar. So Coventry just trying to exert that little bit of pressure.
We're just seeing a replay now of Eccles' shot, and it was a great save to tip it onto the post from Christian Walton, and then he made the save from Ephraim Mason-Clark. But it's a corner at the Sir Bobby Robson stand end away to our left. Kane Kessler-Hayden is going to take a right-footed in-swinger, a packed 6-yard box in and around Christian Walton, trying to get a sight of it, the Ipswich keeper, into the near post. Poor corner by Kessler-Hayden, headed away by O'Shea for Ipswich. And then Van Eyck guides the ball back to his goalkeeper, Carl Rushworth.
Dance, that is a world-class save from Walton, because it's come through a load of bodies with Eccles with his left foot. He's just trying to, just bend it inside his right-hand post, and he's got a big right hand to it, full stretch, just gets it onto the post, comes out. Ellis Sims thinks he might get a rebound. He's standing in the 6-yard box, and it actually just ricochets the opposite direction.
So it stays Ipswich Town 0, Coventry City 0 on Talksport 2. You're home with the EFL, edging towards the half-hour mark here this Saturday afternoon. Monday night game night, Wolves against Manchester United is our Premier League Monday night offering for you. Adrian Durham, Joe Shannon and Danny Murphy will be your commentary team at Molineux. Only goals in the Premier League so far today. Everton leading Forest, Tottenham leading Brentford. Long throw from Coventry, headed out from the edge of the area for Ipswich by George Hurst. But it comes back to Kessler Hayden. Flicks it to his right for Matt Grimes, who's trotting through the inside right position. Gives it out to Van Eyck on the right-hand side. But he's forced to go back into the centre circle once again for Kane Kessler Hayden. The former Villa man tries a diagonal ball to pick out Mason Clark, but he's got his radar all wrong there, and it goes straight behind for an Ipswich Town goal kick away to our left-hand side. Half an hour gone, and you're dead right, Perry Groves. The more you think about that save from Christian Walton, the better it is. Didn't do it justice at the time. Cheltenham equalise against Buxton in the FA Cup. That's 1-1 at Wadden Road. Isaac Hutchinson gets the Robins back level. Ipswich down the left-hand side with Jaden Philogene in his own half. He's being marshalled by Van Eyck. Cedric Kipre just plays it long downfield, but straight onto the head of Matt Grimes. Whenever Ipswich try and work it up to halfway, it very rarely finds a blue shirt. And then Hurst tries to lay it off and lays it off to a Coventry player. It's happened again there. This time Mason Clark picked up the loose ends.
Dan, so I'm looking at George Hurst, obviously playing up front as centre forward for Ipswich. He's a player who looks like he's just completely shot of confidence. Every time the ball comes into him, he looks tense. The 3 times it's come into him, he's given the ball away. You can hear the Ipswich Town fans, get a little bit frustrated. Ipswich can't quite get a grip of the game.
Oh, it's a good turn from Nunez, finding Matasiwa, and he tried to slide it through for Leif Davis, who'd come in field, but it was intercepted well for Coventry by Bobby Thomas. And then Thomas wins a throw, knew he was running out of ground on that far side of the field, and cleverly hit it against Matasiwa. Throw into the league leaders, 0-0.
It's coming up to just over 31 minutes played. I can't remember Ipswich Town putting a passing move of 4+ passes together. Every time they get it, they give it up. Matasiwa is a really good instance there. He's only got to roll it out to Leif Davis, and he misses him completely. Gives the ball away. So the Ipswich Town fans are just very flat. I think they're
lovely turn from Eccles, and then he's caught by Taylor. Is he? No, says Paul Tierney. Ball's rolled back to Christian Walton. Has to take a touch and just kept it away from Ellis Sims. He took a touch, the Ipswich keeper, and that allowed Sims to get so close to him. But now Ipswich are coming forward, and Hurst is offside as he was played in behind Liam Kitching. He's fired it wide anyway, and they want a yellow card for kicking the ball away. They also want a word about the foul they thought had happened on Josh Eccles earlier in that minute. 0-0.
If the Coventry players have a point, Dance, because Paul Tierney, referee, booked Eccles, didn't he, for having a shot and booting the ball over the crossbar. So he's been flagged for offside, Hurst, and then he's going through. He knows he's offside. He doesn't hit the target, so the Coventry players are going, hold on a minute, you've booked our player for exactly the same thing. And if you're George Hurst as well, if you're going to go through and the referee, but make sure you hit the target, because you could hear him miss the target completely. All the Ipswich fans, again, had a massive groan.
32 minutes gone on Talksport 2. Ipswich Town 0, Coventry City 0. 2 goals in the Premier League. Newcastle lead Burnley by 1-0. Bruno Guimaraes, and Manchester City lead Sunderland 1-0. Ruben Dias at the Etihad. Ball straight out of play. Apparently that Ruben Dias goal was a bit of a screamer, according to my producer Sam back at base. And Blackburn leads Sheffield Wednesday by 1-0. Yuki Ohashi putting Blackburn ahead at Ewood Park. That was Ipswich's last game on Tuesday night, that rearranged game from what was originally abandoned. Eggerly been a bit peripheral after what was a decent start for this teenager. Now Taylor's trying to win it back for Ipswich, runs straight into Kitching, who fires it up to halfway. Kessler Hayden does well to keep the ball away from Philogene, and then Eccles just shy of the halfway line. Oh, he's well tackled. Oh no, it's a free kick. I thought Jack Taylor had won that back legitimately, but you can hear the boos around us at Portman Road because Paul Tierney thought otherwise, that it's a Coventry City free kick. 0-0.
Yeah, it looked like he'd won the ball on first look, Stance. Eccles just obviously trying to shield it from Jack Taylor. Paul Tierney's actually got exactly the same angle that we're looking at. Perhaps he thinks it's because he's coming from the side.
No, he didn't really get the ball, did he?
Yeah, it was his knee in the back of Eccles' calf. Good decision from Paul Tierney. And if his fans shout out, you don't know what you're doing, on that instance, he actually does. So it was a decent decision from Paul Tierney. But it's just a frustration I think fans have and players have of inconsistencies of referees. Booking Eccles for having a shot and missing the target. say wasting time, and he didn't do the same thing for George Hurst.
Eggerly plays a lovely 1-2 and gets away down the right-hand side for Ipswich. Hurst waiting for a cross. In it comes from Eggerly, but it was into the near post and comfortably cleared away by Liam Kitching. Now goes up to halfway, and Coventry try and give chase, but Dara O'Shea beats Ellis Sims to the ball and fires it back to his goalkeeper, Christian Walton, who's made 2 excellent saves in quick succession to keep scores level in this game. Christian Walton.
It just shows you the loneliness of a goalkeeper, though, Dance. 2 world-class saves he's made. Then he had the Tonka touch, didn't he, with his Herman Munster boots, where balls rolled back to him. It looked like Ellis Sims was going to nick in front of him. So those 2 massive saves could have just been completely wiped out, with one little bit lax of concentration.
Ipswich 0, Coventry 0. 10 minutes to half-time at Portman Road. Under darkening skies. Man on shout about 20,000 fans to Jack Taylor, and he heeds that warning. He keeps it away down the left-hand side. Davis trying to cut infield from the left-hand touchline, but Van Eyck not only wins it off him, then hits it against Davis, so that Coventry City get a goal kick. Manchester City go 2-0 up against Sunderland in very short order. Not long after Ruben Diaz, Josko Gvardiol makes it 2-0 to the Citizens. Remember, Arsenal lost at lunchtime, so chance for those beneath to chase them down. Villa within 3 points of them. Manchester City 2-0 up. Chelsea at Bournemouth. That's still 0-0, though Bournemouth did have a goal ruled out by VAR. We're in a VAR free zone here in the Championship, as Leif Davis gives the ball back to Christian Walton. Again, it was a fine tooth comb between a good back pass and a bad back pass there, as Redoni was closing down the space. Matasiwa fires it up to Nunez, let the ball run across his body, but that allowed Coventry to step in, but the ball forward found Ellis Sims in an offside position. 9 to half-time. Ipswich 0, Coventry 0. Perry Groves.
Yeah, it's a good line held there by Ipswich 2 centre-halves, O'Shea and Kipperate, just making sure they got good communication. Ellis Sims just coming back from an offside position. It's amazing, dancing. We said before the game, these are the 2 high scorers in the Championship. Obviously, Coventry 50 goals, Ipswich with 30, and neither team have had that real sort of spark of that creativity when they're getting in the final third. We've only had sort of one, what you say, decent shot on target, was Eccles hit the post from a brilliant save from Walton, just tipped it with his sort of right index finger. But apart from that, we expected sort of a free-flowing game, didn't we, with lots of sort of fluid passing movements, and it hasn't been that way, because you can tell this Ipswich Town team, when Kieran McKenna talked about connections and in chemistry, that is exactly what they're lacking at the moment.
Yeah, Nunez is the one player out there I think who's trying his best to try and knit everything together for Ipswich. It's just not quite happening. Here he is trying to get on the ball by the centre circle, leaves it for Matasiwa. Good ball into the centre circle. Eggerly can pirouette and look for options. Plays the ball through the centre, looking for the run of Philogene. He won't get there. Van Eyck very cleverly guided it back to his goalkeeper. But the clearance doesn't reach halfway, and Ipswich have it back. Taylor plays it back to the edge of the centre circle, where O'Shea can shovel it to his right for Furlong. Gives it back to O'Shea. Now Redoni coming to close down the space. So the crossfield ball for Kipre is really poor, and he can only just divert it out of play for a Coventry City throw. And that was minimal pressure from Coventry City that forced that mistake.
Yeah, just really, really sloppy play from O'Shea. All he's got to do again is roll it 25-30 yards square to his centre-half partner Kipre, and he just pings it at him, which is fair enough, but he misses him, and Kipre's obviously got to put a big right foot out, just toe pokes it, gives a throwing away. So Van Eyck will obviously hoist this one in.
From his natural right-hand side, Milan Van Eyck in front of the Cobbold stand. In it comes. Great distance on the throw, but headed away by Kipre. Grimes heads it back for Coventry into the area. Kipre's there again. Then Kessler Hayden nods it forward, and Kipre for a third time gets the ball clear for Ipswich Town. Kessler Hayden back on halfway, elects to turn and give it back to his goalkeeper. 6.5 minutes of normal time to go in this first half on Talksport 2. Your home of the EFL, the leaders Coventry, I would say comfortable against Ipswich Town. Perry Groves?
Yeah, they've just sort of played their way into the game. I don't think Coventry at their free-flowing best. If you're Coventry's point of view, you want to get Redoni on the ball a little bit more, who's playing in the 10 position. Get the ball into Ellis Sims. Hasn't really had a lot of service dance. I can't remember Ellis Sims really touching the ball that much, maybe 2 or 3 times. No. But he did the same thing against Charlton last week, didn't he? Where he sort of jogged about like Erling Haaland, and just in his head he's thinking, I'll get a chance, I'll score in a minute.
0-0 it remains. Nunez with a heavy touch. Sims does get a bit of involvement there. Eccles tucks it back for Grimes. Grimes trying to run through 2 or 3 Ipswich players. He's been dispossessed. And then Eggerly is caught by Grimes, and that'll be a yellow card for the Coventry City midfielder, Matt Grimes. There are several Coventry players, not including Grimes, who are under threat of a 1-game ban if they pick up a booking today. But after today, that suspension bar changes to 10 games before you get a yellow. But players like De Silva and Kitching and Wright have got to be careful if Wright gets on. 0-0.
Well, so is Grimes now, because obviously he plays at the base of the midfield for Coventry. And he gets involved in, a few 1v1s. There was no need for him to tackle Eggerly there, because Eggerly was just facing his own goal, and he's come in and just sort of had the siving tackle. Quite rightly, Buccini got his yellow card out.
Free kick awarded for a foul on Marcelino Nunez, level with the 18-yard line down the right-hand side. Matt Grimes used to play for Swansea City. They lead Oxford in the Championship. Swansea City 1, Oxford United 0. Marko Stamenic for Swansea. 5 straight defeats for Swansea under new management.
Dantat was really good closing down by George Hurst there. Just made sure that he put De Silva under pressure, had a sliding tackle, just nicked the ball away from him. Then Mason Clark pushes over Nunez. Great opportunity now for Ipswich Town with a free kick on this right-hand side,
which Nunez is preparing to take, hands on hips. Coventry defending that level with a penalty spot. Swung in right-footed by Nunez to the far post, and Sims just flicks it behind for a corner kick on the far side where the Cobbold stand meets the Sir Ralph Ramsey. 0-0 the score on Talksport 2.
Yeah, Nunez just trying to whip it in. Again, a little bit over club dance where it goes to the far post. Philogene just lure it in there. Ellis Sims just caressing the better part of Alap. Just made sure that he sort of headed it and then it come off his thigh, went out for a corner. Corner for Ipswich over on their left-hand side. Sheffield
United 2, Stoke City 0. Femi Suriki with the second for the Blades, and Exeter lead Wickham in the FA Cup by a goal to 0. Jack Aitchison at St James Park. Corner kick to be taken by Marcelino Nunez. Right-footed into the near post. Sims comfortably heads clear. Straight back to Nunez, who's now level with the 18-yard line. Swings another lovely ball in and headed away for a corner by Kitching in front of his goalkeeper. I don't know whether Rushworth gave Kitching a shout, but he decided he was going to get rid of it anyway. Corner to Ipswich on the right, 0-0.
There's a better delivery second time from Nunez. First one from the corner, hit the first man. Ellis Sims just heads the ball away, comes back out to Nunez. He has a brilliant cross in from his right foot. Looks like Kipri might get a touch. He said there's no communication between Rushworth and Kitchen. Kitchen quite rightly heads the ball. Corner for Ipswich on their right-hand side.
Next to the tunnel where the Sir Ralph Ramsey meets the West Stand. Leif Davis sends it in. The heads go up. It drops in the 6-yard box and hooked away by Coventry. Drops in the centre of their half. Sims can't win the header. And then Matosiwa gets an important foot in, slides it down the left-hand side of the box. Philogene across the face of goal, straight through the legs of Kipre. Then Eggerly tees up Davies, who tries to send it across the face of goal. He does. Chested down by Philogene. Eggerly at the edge of the area. What a goal! What a fantastic goal! Sindre Eggerly, 2-in-2 for the youngster. Philogene cleverly laid it back to the edge of the area. Up stepped Eggerly and swept it home into the bottom corner with his left foot. Fantastic hit from this young star who's cost a lot of money. He's paying some of it back, and the leaders are trailing again in the Championship. It is Ipswich 1, Coventry 0.
That's a fantastic goal from Eggerly. This ball just comes out to him. Ipswich play a little 1-2. Davis just crosses it to the far post, comes to Philogene, chests it down, just rolls it out to Eggerly, just on the left-hand side of the D. As it comes to Eggerly, with his left foot, he just whips it back across his body, gives Rushworth absolutely no chance, buries it low down to Rushworth's left-hand side. And that all started because Kesler Hayden pulled out of a tackle with Matosiwa, just in the middle of the park, where he should be going 50-50. He jumps out the tackle. Frank Lampard will be going absolutely apoplectic. You cannot pull out a 50-50 chance. He's got a brilliant finish from Eggerly.
Just 19 years of age, the Norwegian made his debut for the national team last year. If you're making your debut for Norway at the age of 18, got to have something about you. And that's 2-in-2 for Sindre Eggerly. And it is 1-0 to Ipswich Town against Coventry City as we approach half-time. Tottenham 2, Brentford 0 in the Premier League. Xavi Simons with the second for Tottenham.
That worked, Keith Anderson, leaving out his 5 best players against Arsenal midweek.
You are what you drink. You're obviously a bitter man this afternoon.
I think probably a bit of shandy.
So can Ipswich hold out to half-time? Because the atmosphere here is completely changed. Completely changed. And it's the youngster that's sparked that change in positivity around Portman Road. And I mentioned it just there. So often that Coventry go behind in games. Even though they're winning games, they do put themselves under pressure to do so more often than not. Forest Green 0, Solihull Moors 1 in the National League. Alex Whitmore. And it's 3-0 Sheffield United now against Stoke. Patrick Bamford gets the third goal for the Blades. We're into 1 minute of minimum added time at the end of this first half. Ipswich 1, Coventry 0. Brilliant goal from Sindra Egeli. In comes a ball into the Ipswich box. O'Shea heads clear. Nunez heads it further out to this near side, but Mason Clark will just let it drift out of play so that they can have a throw, Coventry. Is Van Eyck going to be asked to go across to take it? Or is De Silva going to take it? I'm waiting for instructions from the bench here. And eventually it is going to be one last chance with a long throw from this left-hand side from the right-back Milan Van Eyck at the end of this first half. 1-0 to Ipswich.
3 of the long throws that Van Eyck has taken, Walton's done brilliantly. He's come out to collect them. So now Ellis Sims has got to make sure that he stands in front of Walton to stop him coming to collect the ball, because this is a large chance that Coventry City are going to have.
Van Eyck with this long throw from the left-hand side, hurled into the area. O'Shea makes it his, and there goes the half-time whistle. And that's more like it, say the Ipswich fans. It's been a tough examination of their credentials by the league leaders here this afternoon. But Ipswich Town are in front at half-time, courtesy of teenager Sindra Egeli, the Norwegian, making it 2 goals in 2 games. He got the late equaliser at Blackburn. And after Ipswich had the ball in and around the Coventry penalty area, trying to make the space for a shot, Jayden Philogene cleverly rolled the ball back to Egeli at the edge of the D, and he swept it home expertly with his left foot to put Ipswich in front. But Ipswich will also be indebted to their goalkeeper, Christian Walton, who made a terrific save to push a shot from Josh Eccles from just outside the box onto the post and away from danger. He also made a save not long after from Ephron Mason Clark. So once again, Coventry City, they might be championship leaders, but they do things the hard way because they're trailing once again in a championship encounter. This time at the break, where it is Ipswich Town 1, Coventry City 0.
Yeah, they just like to make it a bit exciting, don't they, Coventry? Give the other team a chance, and then we'll see what happens in the second half. But as it is, as you say, Ipswich are 1-0 up against Coventry. Let's get the thoughts of Perry Groves, who's alongside Ian Danter there. And for large spells, it kind of felt like it was a game where they were cancelling each other out.
Yeah, very much so. It was very clunky that, neither team could really, get any passing moves going. Coventry City were probably just the better side, just edging the possession stats. They had one. There's only been one what you call really good free-flowing move, and that was from Coventry down there, left-hand side, where De Silva carried the ball for like 20 yards. He just released it to Mason Clark, got a brilliant cross in. Kessler Hayden come in from the right-hand side, and he had his crash helmet on, didn't header it properly, just went off at a really strange angle. But talking about Kessler Hayden, and we'll talk about Egeli's goal in a minute, you cannot lose your... In any football, you cannot not win your 50-50s. And the reason that Ipswich went in front is because there was a ball that was halfway in Coventry's half, and it was in between Matisewa and Kessler Hayden, and Kessler Hayden pulled out of the 50-50. He just let Matisewa just go through him. They recycled the ball, it comes to Philogene, then he rolls it back to Egeli.
Yeah, that's the difference, isn't it, with when you're on it and when you're not. And Coventry in that moment weren't, but Ipswich certainly took advantage of it. Talk us then about this goal then. Explain just how brilliant it was. Yeah,
but the thing is, we've mentioned there was not a lot of quality, especially from Ipswich, they kept giving the ball away. But when they recycled it, it was come from Leif Davis, was on the right-hand side. He'd taken a corner, a really good corner actually, which just went under crossbar. It came back to him. He overhit his right-footed cross, went to the far post to Philogene, and then Philogene does brilliantly because he just rolls it back to Egley, who's on the left-hand side of the... And what that means is it makes up Egley's mind for him. It makes his mind up that he's got to take the shot first time. And the young man, with his left foot, he just whips it across his body and he gives Rushworth absolutely no chance. Goes into the side netting, down to Rushworth's left-hand side. So they both may look very easy, but it's the quality of the roll back from Philogene, and it's a brilliant first-time finish from Egley. Ipswich Town have had 2 shots on target in this first half, Nat, both from Egley. Egley had one in the first 10 minutes, again with his left foot straight at Rushworth, and that one, he made it count. It was a brilliantly finished in a brilliantly technical goal from Egley.
But as we've been saying, Coventry have been here before where they have conceded and they've come back. So in a sense, this halftime team talk from Frank Lampard isn't one of panic. It's about carrying on doing what you can do to get a result.
Yeah, very much so. They went 1-0 down when we saw them last week, obviously at home against Charlton, and they didn't blink, but they were in better form in that game, where they were very fluid in their passing. From Coventry's point of view, I said about Jack Widonia, I think he's an excellent player. He's playing in 10. They've got to get it into him more. Ellis Sims hasn't really been involved. He's got 5 goals in the last 3 games, but he's been sort of playing on scraps. There's been no service into him. So, as I say, it's been a very stop-start, sort of scrappy first half. But the 2 things that really stood out, Ipswich came out on top. It was a brilliant shot from Eccles with his left foot from Coventry, and it was a well-class save from Walton, low down to his right-hand side. It was like a big right index finger that, just diverted the ball onto the post, came out, Mason Clark got the rebound and Walton tipped it over. And then they came out on top, obviously, with Egley just whipping the ball and putting it in Rushworth's bottom left-hand corner. So, but you have to... I've got no dog in the fight in these teams, but it really annoys me when you see players jump out of 50-50 tackles, and Kessler Hayden, that is the cardinal sin.
OK, Perry, for now, thank you. We'll let you enjoy a bit of the second half break, but it's time for us to look ahead to tonight's Premier League action as Leeds host Liverpool from 5:30, and we're joined now by Talksport reporter Dave Rowe to look ahead to it. Dave, good evening, or good afternoon, I should say, to you. It's I'm inside. I don't know what's going on. Both managers have come under a fair bit of scrutiny this season, but if we focus very much on the host, Daniel Farke, and his Leeds side, they've had 2 superb performances in the last week. They tested City, particularly in that second half, and then had that incredible win over Chelsea in midweek to take them out of the relegation zone. It certainly seems as though maybe the Leeds boss has found a tactical formula that can trouble some of the Premier League's best.
Hi Natalie, yes, it's dark, it's pouring with rain, it's a night game, definitely. I think you make a good point there, because he changed formation halfway through the game at the Etihad last weekend, and then stuck with it for the home game against Chelsea on Wednesday. And when you look at the history of Daniel Farke, he very rarely plays with 3 at the back. He did it very briefly at Norwich when he first went in there, and ironically just before he got the sack there as well. But it almost felt to me like almost like a last throw of the dice, seeing the difficult fixture coming up, trying something different. I was obviously happy with what you saw in the second half last week. It worked big time here on Wednesday night, and not just the formation, but the way they harried Chelsea, the way they got Chelsea out of their stride. So you'd have to say you expect a similar setup here today, even if it may not be quite the same personnel. There are a couple of doubts over players for today, but I would think the same sort of setup will be likely for them.
And especially when they're at home, where they've lost just twice this season, it sort of all points to maybe a positive result for them. Bear in mind they're taking on a Liverpool side that is struggling with confidence.
Yeah, I mean, Liverpool have taken 4 points in the last 2 games, but I don't think anyone's really saying that's Liverpool back at this stage. They beat West Ham, they got a draw in midweek, but didn't play particularly well about it. So if Leeds get on the front foot here straight away with the crowd right behind them, every chance they can certainly put some pressure on Liverpool. And it's so obvious to say, but quite clearly home form's going to be so important if Leeds are going to stay in the Premier League. They are 2 points clear at the moment of the bottom 3, which is a decent situation to be in, but it's having won that game on Wednesday night, I think that's a critical turning point for them, because had they been on a 6-7 game losing sequence, then there were some questions being asked about the manager's job. So he's made a change and turn things around to an extent. If he can back it up with, I think, even a point here today, but certainly if he can get 3, then that's them going well. But yeah, a big day too for Arne Slot, because Liverpool, they've got to get wins on the ball quickly.
Yeah, just one more on Leeds then before we have a little chat about Liverpool. it's the beauty of going at 5:30 is you can see what's happening in the 3 o'clock kickoffs. And as it stands, Burnley are losing at Newcastle. Forest are losing at Everton as well. It kind of gives you that little bit of a breather to see what else is happening in the Premier League.
Yeah, I was just beginning to think last week, actually, that for all we've talked about how all the promoted clubs have done better this season than last season, actually, when you look at it, Leeds and Burnley weren't actually a great deal higher than the likes of Ipswich and Leicester this time last year. So again, that Wednesday game for Leeds and the win has really helped them out, and the gap that was beginning to emerge just closes slightly. And I suppose, yeah, for them, obviously, if Forest do lose today and if West Ham lose tomorrow, then anything they get here is a bonus. So yeah, the 5:30 in that respect probably does help them, yes.
And briefly on Liverpool then, the defence may well be tested then with coming up against 2 up front maybe, and also there's the big question on whether or not Mo Salah returns to the starting 11, Dave.
Yeah, came on at half-time in midweek for Cody Gakpo. I think I'd be surprised if he didn't start today. Obviously, they started with Isak up top in midweek, so whether he'll carry on or whether Ekitike will come in there. And question marks, obviously, at the back with the goals and the nature of the goals they've been conceding. They have Conor Bradley back in the picture this afternoon, so he may well be in. But it's, yes, how they handle the Leeds front line, whoever it is for Leeds, because Leeds have doubts over both Calvert-Lewin and Nemetcha. So some interesting team news to come. But yeah, Liverpool, Salah, I would expect to see him there after playing that half the game on Wednesday.
Well, Dave, enjoy it. We look forward to hearing your updates on the game day phone-in on Talksport. That's from 5:30. Get your calls into Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy on 03717 223344 to have your say on all of today's action. Next here on Talksport 2, the second half's coming your way between Ipswich and Coventry, plus a half-time classified check.
No-nonsense sports coverage.
Oh, he's going all the way!
This is Talksport 2. Hawksby and Jacobs on your side every weekday afternoon from 1 on Talksport with Toolstation, delivering cutting-edge comment, a catalogue of riveting guests, and drilled-down dialogue to power up your lunchtime. Plus, breaking news, views, and loads of laughs. Don't miss the nation's favourite sporting lunch with the legendary Hawksby and Jacobs every weekday afternoon from 1 on Talksport with Toolstation. Next stop, Toolstation.
MyMotorworld.com. Flat battery, blown bulb, wipers past their best. Don't worry, you can fit it yourself at home with big brands and low prices starting from just £1.99 for wipers, $4.99 for bulbs, and batteries from just $39.99. Those life journeys don't need to cost the earth. Don't wait for a flat start. Power up, brighten up, clear up with MyMotorworld.com. Delivery from just £3.95. MyMotorworld.com.
The countdown to Christmas is on and festive gatherings are filling up the diary. So make your plans a bit more special with a familiar favourite. Enjoy a scoop of Carte d'Or's Madagascar vanilla ice cream. With its smooth, velvety texture and rich, classic taste, Carte d'Or's premium ingredients are crafted for connection. Whether you're enjoying a festive get-together with friends this Christmas or just winding down on the sofa with loved ones, it's the perfect pairing for moments worth sharing. Make more of every moment with Carte d'Or.
Make this Christmas a jingle belter. From well-nice appetizers like Aldi's Himalayan salt-aged smoked salmon to proper naughty desserts such as their melting milk chocolate baubles with caramel sauce. Your table spread will totally slay. Do or fancy with Aldi. Specially selected.
People are tuning into radio more than ever. Advertise here and get your message heard by up to 6.5 million switched on listeners every week. Email radio@news.co.uk.
1 in 8 men will get prostate cancer, but all too often they find out by complete chance too late. It shouldn't be this way. With no early warning signs and no national screening program, we need your support. A donation to Prostate Cancer UK will help fund the research that will improve the odds of catching prostate cancer earlier, saving thousands of lives. It's about time men's lives weren't left to chance. Visit prostatecanceruk.org/give.
Well, hello there. Welcome to the world of Trustford. Oh, it's huge. Filled with our friendly team to help you with all our latest products and offers. Like 0% APR on new cars and vans. And there's a wide range of used vehicles all available with Trustford now. Visit trustford.co.uk and discover the world of Trustford. For you. Terms and conditions apply.
What makes the best roast dinner is deeply personal, and we've all got strong opinions on whether it's best with beef or chicken, roasties or mash, and if cauliflower cheese really belongs. It doesn't, by the way. But one thing isn't up for debate. A roast is always better with deliciously crispy, fluffy Paxo stuffing. A roast isn't a roast without Paxo, the original stuffing, lovingly crafted since 1901.
Hard-hitting football coverage on DAB+, online, via the Talksport app and on your smart speaker.
An absolutely magnificent effort!
EFL Live on Talksport 2.
This is Game Day. Halftime classifieds.
Yes, this is Talksport 2, the home of the EFL. Let's get your half-time classified scores, starting with
Premier League.
Aston Villa were 2-1 winners over Arsenal in the early kick-off. At half-time, it's Bournemouth 0, Chelsea 0, Everton 2, Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester City 2, Sunderland 0, Newcastle 2, Burnley 0, and Tottenham 2, Brentford 0.
Sky Bet Championship.
In the early kick-offs, Charlton Portsmouth was abandoned. It finished Leicester 3-1 at Derby, and Watford were 3-2 winners over Norwich. At half-time, it's Blackburn 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. It's goalless between Bristol City and Millwall. Ipswich lead Coventry by 1-0. Our game here on Talksport 2. Preston is 0 against Wrexham, who are 1-up in that game at Deepdale. QPR are 1-0 up against West Brom. It's Sheffield United 3, Stoke 0, Southampton 2, Birmingham 0, and Swansea 2, Oxford United 0.
Sky Bet League One.
2 early kickoffs. Cardiff beat Huddersfield 3-2 and Bradford were 1-0 winners at Plymouth.
Sky Bet League Two.
And just the one game in League Two. Colchester and Gillingham was a goalless draw from earlier on. OK, let's take you back to the second half then at Portman Road, where Ipswich lead Coventry by 0-0. Your commentary team, Perry Groves and Ian Danter.
Thank you, Natalie. Both teams are back out. The skies darken further and the floodlights start to take more of an effect. Just beneath us here on the pitch at Portman Road. No signs of any half-time changes from either Kieran McKenna or Frank Lampard. So let me run you through the 11s before play restarts. For Ipswich, Walton is the keeper. Furlong, O'Shea, Kipre and Davis in the back four. Taylor and Matusiwa holding. Then Eggerly, the goal scorer. Nunez and Philogene behind Hurst in attack. For Coventry, Rushworth the keeper, Van Eyck, Thomas, Kitching and De Silva, then Kessler Hayden and Grimes and Eccles, with Redoni and Mason Clark in support of Sims. And it will be Marcelinho Nunez, first player in a while to have made the trip from Norfolk to Suffolk directly, who will get play back underway for Ipswich in their blue shirts and socks and white shorts, kicking from right to left as we look from our terrific vantage point halfway up the west stand. So Ipswich heading for the Bobby Robson stand that they love to do in the second half of home games. Coventry then in their change strip today of all fluorescent orange are kicking from left to right towards the Sir Ralph Ramsey stand away to our right hand side. So yes, Everton 2-0 up on Nottingham Forest, as Natalie mentioned. Tieno Barry finally has an Everton goal, and the fans wanted it so badly for him. Saw him down at Bournemouth on Tuesday, and you could see the desperation was starting to increase, so that will have done him the power of good, I'm sure.
I think David Moyes was saying, wasn't he, how brilliant he works for the team. You know, just closes down, puts a shift in, and just needed a goal just to get that little bit of confidence.
And Ipswich getting away down the right-hand side with Nunez finding Taylor at the edge of the area. Remember, Ipswich 1-0 up here. Late goal in the first half from Sindra Eggerly, separates the sides. Jaden Philogene, who got the assist for that goal with a very clever roll back to the edge of the box, finds Matusiwa in the centre of the Coventry half. Diagonal ball out for Davis in a bit of space. Can he keep it in play? He can. Right at the dead ball line, faced up by Van Eyck. Gives it to Kipre. Great first time ball in, headed away by Kitching and then volleyed wide, well wide, by Marcelinho Nunez. Goal kick, 1-0 to Ipswich.
Yeah, Ipswich just started the second half with more urgency on the front foot, just passing the ball a little bit quicker. Really good link up on the left. Leif David just rolling it back to Kipre. It's a really good ball in from Kipre, his left foot. Kitchen gets the first contact. It comes out to the edge of the box to Nunez, and a player with his quality dance, he should be getting a better strike on that. He just slice it complete with his right foot.
Yeah, goes out of play for a goal kick, which Coventry have kept possession with. It's rolled actually back to Carl Rushworth. and flicks it to his left for Liam Kitching. Out to Jay Da Silva, who will be hoping to go to the World Cup with Wales next year. He's won a few caps, Jay Da Silva. It's part of that Welsh squad. They've got their playoff to negotiate first. Remember, every World Cup game next summer from North America, live across the Talksport network. We'll bring it all to you next June and July from the other side of the pond. Kitching finds Da Silva again, faced up by Eggerly. So he's forced to go back. It's Jay Da Silva to Kitching. Now he just chips it over halfway, looking for Mason Clark, but that's headed away by Furlong. Grimes, though, picks it up, the Coventry captain, in the centre circle. Van Eyck shows just to his right. Now Kessler Hayden, who runs into Philogene, who can't keep the ball in play. It is a throw to Coventry on this near side, the right-hand side for them. Kessler Hayden, good first touch as he takes the ball in his stride, works his way down the right-hand side, finds Van Eyck. Can't get the better of Kipre. Kipre then in a 50-50 with Kessler Hayden gets the better of the Coventry number 20, and it's brought away by Jaden Philogene. That's a lovely ball, hit crossfield, although Eggerly does have to chase after it for a little bit to keep possession. But Ipswich have spread play from left to right, and then Eggerly is fouled by Efron Mason Clark. Free kick to Ipswich Town as Port Vale take the lead in the FA Cup against Bristol Rovers by 1-0. Ben Waine for the Valiants. Dara O'Shea at the back for Ipswich, rolls it into the feet of Marcelino Nunez just shy of the halfway line, just sends it up to George Hurst, and then a lovely ball from Nunez to find Philogene. Fully 50 yards that pass. Philogene, left-hand corner of the area, darting in on his right, thought about a shot, gives it to Taylor. Taylor does go for goal, but Rushworth can comfortably get across to his left-hand side and hold on to it. Was on target, though. Ipswich 1, Coventry 0.
Yeah, really good play from Ipswich Town. Great switch of play from Nunez out to his left-hand side, and Philogene's own mark, because Leif Davis has gone and played in the inside left position. That leaves Philogene with plenty of space, and Philogene actually should have got out of his left foot and rolled it back into Leif Davis. Decided to take too many touches, and in the end Coventry got their bodies back, able to crowd out the ball. But just amazing what a goal can do for teams' confidence stance, because Ipswich have come out and they've just got a little more, a bit of a spring in their step. And I'm just looking at Kipre, the Ipswich Town centre half. At the moment, coming up to 15 minutes played, he hasn't put a foot wrong.
Another crossfield ball from Nunez, picking out Philogene on this near side. He's got Van Eyck much tighter to him this time. He's trying to get beyond him. He does get beyond him, but across comes Bobby Thomas with a crunching challenge. It will be a throw, and Philogene's flat out on his back. I think he's wind a little bit from that challenge from Bobby Thomas. We play 5 minutes of the second half. Ipswich, as they were at half-time, 1-0 up on the leaders of the Championship, Coventry City, and Philogene just thinking about getting his breath back and finally gets to his feet.
It's a brilliant first touch from Philogene, just clearing the ball when it just dropped out. Yeah, great switch of play again from Nunez. And also you can tell at half-time that Kieran McKenna has said to Leif Davis he wants him to play a lot further forward. You know, he's playing in that inside left position. Philogene just got to make sure he gets his head up a bit earlier, because he can roll Leif Davis in.
Well, Davis was trying to get Philogene in on the dead ball line with a throw so he could hook a ball back across the face of goal, but couldn't manage that. It's gone behind for a Coventry City goal kick. Kieran McKenna stood at the edge of his technical area. No sign of Frank Lampard down below. He's sat down next to his coaching staff, who will blink first from the bench. You would assume, if the score stays like this for much longer, that Coventry City will look to their bench. But no Victor Torp today for the Sky Blues. Out injured, and he has been missed, I would venture. Now here's George Hurst trying to get in between the two centre halves. He's away for Ipswich into the area, but the shot is well saved by Rushworth. Don't think he believed in himself enough when he got inside the box to take the shot, and Rushworth got down to his left and made a smart save. 1-0 still to Ipswich.
Chance, it was telegraphed from George Hurst. Brilliant ball from Kipre with his left foot, just rolling it in between Thomas and Kitchen. George Hurst is away, and as he gets to the edge of the 18-yard box on the left-hand side, he's opened his body out, so Rushworth knows there's only one place he can put it, and that is down to Rushworth's left-hand side. And if you're going to do that, George Hurst, what you've got to do is you make sure you whip the ball back across your body, and you give the goalkeeper the eyes. As you said, it's just a centre forward at the moment is just lacking that little bit of confidence.
What Glenn Hoddle would have done, basically. I think the last goal he ever scored for Tottenham was one where he ran through from halfway and bamboozled the goalkeeper by just calmly taking it round him. It's a brilliant goal if you ever get to see it on YouTube. In fact, there's a whole collection of Glenn Hoddle goals. It's about 10 minutes long. Oh, handball outside the area by Christian Walton. He's going to get a yellow card for handling the ball down the right-hand side of his own penalty area. And Paul Tierney, eagle-eyed, spotted that he carried it beyond the edge of the penalty area. And now Coventry have a free kick down the left-hand side of that box. 1-0 Ipswich.
Yeah, just a bit of a lack of concentration there from Walton. Just the ball just helped into that left-hand channel for Coventry City. Ellis Sims then goes to close the ball down. The Ipswich Town fans start singing "You Don't Know What You're Doing," but 100% Walton actually did take the ball from outside the 18-yard box, so a free kick for a really dangerous position on the left-hand side of the 18-yard box of Coventry City.
Josh Eccles is just spotting the ball down. So if you think of the left-hand corner of the penalty area, it's about 3 yards further down towards the dead ball line from that apex. So he's really going to fire this in, you would venture, Josh Eccles. There's a 3-man Ipswich wall protecting the near post. Eccles does fire it in, and it goes all the way through and wide. A couple of players end up in the net. The 2 number 4s, Thomas and Kipre, end up in the back of the net, but the ball didn't. Stayed out. Goal kick, 1-0 Ipswich.
It's a great free kick from Eccles from that left-hand side, just whipping it in with pace with his right foot. I think he's probably maybe going for the far post. He said there, looks like it was Thomas who was just loitering at the far post, couldn't quite get his head on it. To be fair, Kipre does really well. He just nudges him off the ball, knocks him off balance. Ball goes flashing past Walton's left-hand post.
Kipre's okay. I think he might have collided with the net, might have got in his eye or something. Meanwhile, Mansfield have equalised to Accrington Stanley in the FA Cup. That's 1-1. Will Evans for the Stags. Grimsby going further clear of Wealdstone in the FA Cup as well. Jace Cabia gets his second of the afternoon. Grimsby 4, Wealdstone 0. Next on Talksport 2, we change sports to Formula E motor racing. Off to the Sao Paulo Grand Prix, the opening round of the Formula E Championship for this season. John Jackson and Lewis McLeod will be your commentary team as Formula E returns on the other side of the world. Jack Taylor plays the ball up to Hurst, takes the ball on his chest, flicks it over the head of Thomas, but across comes Van Eyck to stab it away for Coventry City. Grimes keeps it away from the right-hand side of Nunez. And then Grimes just drops his shoulder and feeds the ball down the left channel. Brilliant first touch from Rodoni, but the second touch was poor. He was trying to give it to his teammate Mason Clark, and it's gone out of play instead for an Ipswich throw bang on halfway. Nearly 10 minutes gone, second half. Perry Groves, Ipswich Town 1, Coventry City 0 on Talksport 2.
Yeah, there's a bit more quality dance in this second half. Ipswich Town especially said he's got that spring in the step, getting the confidence from Egley's goal, putting them 1-0 up. They're just moving the ball a little bit quicker. A couple of times you saw Jack Taylor played a little reverse pass into George Hurst, like a no-look pass. And George Hurst had a good first touch, second touch a little bit heavy, tried to just chip it over Thomas, end up giving the ball away.
Southampton 2, Birmingham City 1 in the Championship. Damari Gray gets a goal back. That's 2-2 for him after the rip snorter he scored. You heard it live on Monday night on Talksport 2 against Watford.
So that's 22 goals scored in the last 4.5 games in the league meetings between your Blues and the Saints at St Mary's. See, I didn't say my Saints there. Did you see that?
Yeah, well, you know you can't say that.
That was too much of a stretch.
There's a restraining order, isn't there? Well, none of you've been back.
Yeah, they charge me 15 quid every time I go and park my car there, and it's only supposed to be a £5. Just trying to claw some of that transfer fee back.
How much was it? The transfer fee?
750,000, 375,000 a goal.
Philogene robs the ball from Thomas, but can't get away from his man down the left-hand side, and Coventry bring it clear. The leader's still behind if you're just tuning into EFL Game Day Live, and Van Eyck barges into Kipre on halfway. There's going to be a yellow card here for Cedric Kipre for that challenge. So the yellow cards are starting to pile up here on both sides. 3 for Ipswich, 2 for Coventry.
Yeah, I think Kipre just got a booking for kicking the ball away again, because it was a really good sliding tackle on Van Eyck initially.
Van Eyck couldn't keep the ball in play as they tried to get the throw-in going. Tried to receive it back from Bobby Thomas, but ball drifted over the touchline just down beneath us. So a throw-in to Ipswich Town with 57 minutes played. Still 1-0 as it was at half-time. That smashing goal toward the end of the first half from Sindre Egeli for 2 goals in 2 games for the young Norwegian. Coventry trying to release Sims downfield. Kipre having to get there first, and then he's helped out by his fellow centre-half Dara O'Shea, and now Leif Davis just down beneath us, clips the ball up over halfway. Philogene heads it in field to keep it in play, and then Grimes is fouled by Taylor, and the offside flag had gone up anyway against an Ipswich player. Swindon 2, Bolton 0 in the FA Cup. Joe Snowden and MK Dons are 2-0 up as well in the FA Cup against Oldham. That's Liam Kelly.
Looking at referee Paul Tierney, had a great little touch there, Dan. He's got out of his feet with his right foot and just like stroked it over his left foot.
Well, he's been out a long time injured, Paul Tierney. He missed the whole of last season. Was on the Premier League list, but he's only reffed EFL games so far this season, Paul Tierney. And he looks on as Leif Davis prepares to take this throw for Ipswich. 58 minutes gone. Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. The league leaders trailing here, as Philogene wins another throw for Ipswich. Right down underneath us, just over the halfway line. As Ipswich are attacking the Sir Bobby Robson stand away to our left in this second period. George Hurst getting towards the corner flag, but Van Eyck manages to dispossess him. And then Coventry bring it clear. Eccles is caught by Philogene, who won the ball back well, and then flicks it infield to Matusiwa. And then across to the right-hand side, and Furlong. Egeli drifts infield from the right-hand touchline, but the ricochet goes against him, and Coventry have it back. Grimes gets his head up straight away as he picks up possession, looks for an option, has to turn away from 2 or 3 blue shirts around him, and then Kitching plays a lovely ball over the halfway line to find Josh Eccles, and then Grimes sends it out to Radoni. Left-hand side, firm pass, but well controlled by the Coventry City midfielder, headed away almost on the deck from Dara O'Shea. Then a ball over the top, and Hurst is in behind. He's onside, the flag has stayed down. George Hurst! 2-0 to Ipswich Town. He didn't make it count the last time he was one-on-one with Carl Rushworth, but he makes it count that time. And Coventry City, the championship leaders, could be heading for what would only be their second defeat of the season. Ipswich are in control on the hour at Portman Road. George Hurst, under pressure, gets the goal to get the fans singing. Ipswich Town 2, Coventry City 0.
Dance George Hurst punches his own chest, and he just shown a massive heart. Really good ball from Nunes, too high a line from Coventry City. George Hurst finds himself 1v1 against Rushworth, just gets the ball out of his feet, just keeps nice and calm, has a look around him, gets the first touch out of his feet with his right foot. He just slides it past Rushworth, gives him absolutely no chance whatsoever. Put Ipswich Town in control of this game here at Portman Road, 2-0 against Coventry City.
Well, George Hurst, it's his 6th goal of the season, into his 101st appearance as an Ipswich player. That will make him feel so much better, because as Perry Groves was mentioning during the first half, there were things weren't sticking. He wasn't finding teammates with layoffs, and he was starting to get frustrated, but he has just got it right. Previously, when he was one-on-one, Carl Rushworth dealt with the right-footed shot easily enough, but this was more central, and he had a bit more room to open up his body and fire it past Carl Rushworth and into the back of the net. So Coventry City really up against it now. Other goals in the Championship. Millwall have the lead at Bristol City through Mihailo Ivanovic, and Southampton have retaken a 2-goal lead against Birmingham. 3-1 now. Adam Armstrong gets his second of the afternoon. And Cheltenham 2, Buxton 2. Buxton were 2-1 up in that cup tie, but Cheltenham have equalised again. So, what have Coventry City got? Finding themselves 2-0 down. Their only defeat this season was at Wrexham, and they staged a late fight back in that game to only lose 3-2 in the end. Given away by Ipswich. Grimes finds De Silva, sends it out to Mason Clark, left-hand side, trying to isolate Darnell Furlong. Drives for the byline, gets the cross in, does he? Deflected behind for a corner kick off Darnell Furlong. Coventry trying to respond. 61 gone. 2-0 to Ipswich.
Yeah, Mason Clark, so just trying to go on the outside of Furlong. Furlong making sure that he's shown him, obviously, the outside, gets his sliding tackle in. Corner for Coventry City over on their left-hand side.
Right in front of those Coventry supporters in that right-hand half of the Cobbold stand opposite our commentary position. So a left-footed out-swinger looking for Sims, but there was an important touch there from Walton, got a right fist to it, kept it away from Ellis Sims, who scored from a very similar position in the game Perry and I saw last weekend against Charlton. Not this time, as Rushworth sent a long ball downfield, but it just straight out of play. Home fans loving that. It's going to be a throw-in to Ipswich Town in their right-back position. They're in no hurry to take it. 2-0 they lead, as do Exeter in the FA Cup against Wickham. That's an all League One affair, and Jack Aitchison has his and the Grecians second.
We're looking at Frank Lampard, obviously the Coventry City manager. Dance, it hasn't happened for his team in this second half. Ipswich have been on the front foot, so I think he has to start making changes now. You've got obviously Hadji Wright, who's coming back from injury. You can put him on, you know, he's very good 1v1s.
That's all he's got really. Kai Andrews is a forward player. He's never made a start for Coventry. He's had a few sub appearances, but in terms of experienced off the peg strikers and forward players, that's pretty much all he has on the bench this afternoon, because there's no Brandon Thomas Asante, the top scorer, out with a hamstring injury.
Just looking at the forward players, we said about George Hurst, he was lacking confidence, was he, in that first half. But you judge a player, Dance, when things aren't going well for him, and he hasn't hid. You know, he's tried to keep getting in behind. He had the 1v1 before he scored his goal with Rushworth, and he sort of telegraphed where he was going to put the finish, simple save for Rushworth down to his left-hand side. But he kept getting in, he kept trying to get in behind, and he actually calmed himself down with his finish because he got the ball out of his feet, and he knew exactly what he was going to do as he was running with the ball, whereas before he made up his mind at the last minute, and that was the difference in the finish.
Ball's out of play, and Coventry have been awarded a free kick, in actual fact, for a foul on Kane Kessler-Hayden. So as things stand, Ipswich would be back up to fourth, because Stoke, Preston and Bristol City are all losing. Millwall will go up to third, and Ipswich up to 31 points, 5 off an automatic spot, which is where Middlesbrough are in second, having won convincingly at Hull last night on Talksport 2. Grimes with a free kick for Coventry, headed away by Kipre, only as far as Kessler-Hayden, who lofts it back into the penalty area, only half cleared. Mason Clark drives it in and wide. I think Walton had it covered at his near post, but he didn't really get hold of it, Ephraim Mason Clark. It ends up merely being an Ipswich goal kick away to our right. Just over 25 minutes to go at Portman Road. Ipswich 2, Coventry 0.
Oh, Mason Clark has got to hit the target just as the ball drops for him. It's a really poor header from Jack Taylor. Gets it, chests it down, and he just hits his volley, and he just comes across the ball with his right foot, snap hooks it completely into the Walton side netting.
Leif Davis, left back for Ipswich, faced up on Kessler-Hayden. Neat ball in field to Matasiba in space inside his own half, and Davis has gone ahead of him with a strong run, and he's found again Leif Davis. Can he find his teammate? Just drops his shoulder to get away from Van Ewijk. Tried to play in Philogene, but it was well intercepted by Kessler-Hayden back defending. Now Van Ewijk finds Eccles. Infield it goes to Grimes. Forest Green have equalised against Solihull Moors in the National League. That's 1-1, and Cheltenham are in front against Buxton, having trailed twice in the FA Cup. Jordan Thomas makes it Cheltenham 3, Buxton 2, and Barrow equalise at Wigan. That's League 1 against League 2. The League 2 side level with Jack Earing. Fleetwood 1, Luton 0. That's League 2 leading League 1. Down the left-hand side for Coventry, Liam Kitching fires the ball into the edge of the Ipswich penalty area. Skied into the Suffolk air by Dara O'Shea, and Nunez tries to prevent the ball going out of play for a throw, but it just goes into the fans in that Cobbold upper tier. It will be a throw to Cov.
Just looking at both teams, obviously Rudone's playing in the 10 position for Coventry and Nunez in the 10 for Ipswich Town. And especially in this second half, Nunez has had miles more influence on the game.
Here's Jack Rodoni trying to have an influence for Coventry. Out to Kane Kessler-Hayden on the right-hand side. 10 yards from the dead ball line. Works it infield to Thomas. Plays a 1-2 with Rodoni and across the face of goal, and turned out for a throw by Kipre, who has been pretty much everywhere for Ipswich this afternoon. But good interplay between Bobby Thomas and Jack Rodoni there for Coventry. 2-0 Ipswich.
Yeah, outstanding from Thomas. Just getting the ball on the edge of the 18-yard box, rolling it into Rodoni. A little give and go. Rodoni just a little layoff. And then Thomas needs to get a better cross across the 6-yard box. Good defending from Kipre at his near post.
So Van Eyck with the latest long throw for Coventry City. Bounces in the air, and again, Kipra's the first man on the scene for Ipswich Town. Ball down to halfway. Rodoni almost dispossessed by Egley. Egley has made the best of the bouncing ball. Clips it forward looking for the run of Nunez, but out comes Rushworth and claims it comfortably. QPR are now 2-0 up on West Brom. Roman Burrell making it 2-0 at Loftus Road. Dundee 1, Aberdeen 2. Dundee get a goal back through Ryan Astley.
Just looking at Coventry, Dance Rodoni just started to drop a little bit deeper because he obviously hadn't had an influence on this second half. So about Nunez, he had 3 brilliant crossfield passes from the right-hand side out to this left-hand side, and a great defence splitting ball for Hurst to run through and get Ipswich Town's second goal.
Looks like Ipswich are going to make the first change. Ivan Azon is ready to come on. So too is Jack Clark. I think it's going to be a double change for Kieran McKenna. We've got a quarter of the game to go on Talksport 2. And the leaders staring down the barrel of what would only be their second defeat of the campaign. Ipswich 2-0 up, and Matasiwa spins away from Grimes, feeds it out to Egley on the right-hand side, right-hand corner of the area. He's got De Silva backpedaling. Furlong on the overlap, tries to pull it across the face of goal. It comes out to Egley, tries to swing at it, but Eccles got a foot in for Coventry, and the Sky Blues get it clear. Ephraim Mason-Clark rides one challenge, but can't get past a second, and the hosts have got it back. Dara O'Shea feeds it out to Egley, right-hand side. Lovely underlapping run from Darnell Furlong. Fires it into the near post, headed away by Thomas. Coventry should get to the loose ball first, and they do. Ellis Sims picks it up, just shy of the halfway line. Oh, what a foot in from Cedric Kipre. Man of the match performance, I would sense, even though there are goals elsewhere. Kipre's been everywhere for Ipswich this afternoon.
Dan, so I think that's what you call showboating, because he just took it off Ellis Sims with a crash tackle, and as it come back to him, he just back-heeled it, kept possession. You could hear the massive sort of Olay cheers from the Ipswich Town fans.
Well, Philogene just taking a snapshot from 25 yards out, but got it all horribly wrong. It went behind for a goal kick. Manchester City 3, Sunderland 0. Phil Foden in the goals once again, and St Mirren 2, Dundee United 0 in the Scottish Premiership this afternoon. Just over 20 minutes to go. Ball given away by Bobby Thomas. Philogene for Ipswich gets George Hurst away down the left-hand side. Space to at least work out what his options are. There's 3 Ipswich players waiting for a cross. It's worked back to Jack Taylor. Taylor being held up by Eccles. Sends it a little bit back further down the left-hand side to Leif Davis. Infield for Nunez. Hurst to shoot, does, and he's dragged it a good 4 or 5 yards wide of Rushworth's right-hand post. And not only are Ipswich going to make changes, in fact they're going to make 3. Ivan Azon, Jack Clark and Jens Kiyuste are all coming on, and Jamie Allen is going to be coming on for Coventry. But first things first, let's sort the Ipswich changes out. And Jack Taylor is the first to make way for Jens Kiyuste. That's a straight swap in midfield. And then George Hurst having scored, he'll get a good round of applause here. George Hurst to allow Azon to come on. That's again a straight swap, Perry. Yep. Striker for striker.
George Hurst will be so pleased with his afternoon's work. So he showed a big heart, wasn't going for him in the first half, never hid, had a brilliant finish to put Ipswich Town 2-0 up, and now it's Kieran McKenna just putting fresh legs on, because Ipswich had more energy in the second half than what Coventry have.
And Egley has been withdrawn, who scored the first goal, to allow Jack Clark to come on. Meanwhile, Josh Eccles is the player that has made way for Jamie Allen to come on for Coventry's first change of the afternoon. Or stalwart of the Mark Robins into Frank Lampard era, Jamie Allen. But he's not got long to make an effect on this game. Approaching 200 appearances for Coventry City, Jamie Allen. But we now have 18 and a half minutes left to play. And Ipswich Town, whose home form, we did mention at the start of our broadcast, has been decent, looking for what would be a 5th home win of the season, and only 1 defeat. That came here against Charlton. That was a thumping, a 3-0 win that Charlton got here. Here's Nunez for the hosts, drifting down the inside left channel. Faced up by Grimes, swings across in, looking for Clark. Good defending by Jay De Silva, heading it away from danger. And then Mason Clark first on the scene, out on the far side of the field. Plays the ball in field, and Jamie Allen gets involved for the first time. Feeds Mason Clark. Rodoni is ahead of him, and then Mason Clark just taken out by, I think it was Darnell Furlong that caught him. It's a free kick, bang on halfway to Coventry City, but time ticks away. 29,025 inside Portman Road this afternoon.
Well, I think if you look at Darnell Furlong, I think he's in the last furlong there, because Mason Clark just cut inside him and he just went to the floor. He had no
it's Matthew
intention.
Seaver on my mistake. Fleetwood Town, Luton Town won, by the way. Jerry Yates has equalised for Luton. But time very much running out here, Perry, for Coventry City. And they're not looking likely, are they?
No, they're just looking like Allen's come on, because obviously they need to get the ball, need to get the game ticking over. Especially in this the first half was very bitty, very even. Coventry were probably slightly on top, but this second half it just looked like Coventry have run out of energy and run out of legs. So Allen's come on to try and get that freshness about him, get himself on the ball, see if he can get them ticking over, because Ipswich have been the better team in this second half.
Well, Sims has just forced Ipswich to concede a corner in front of those Coventry fans at the Cobbold stand on the far side of the field. This would be a left-footed outswinger from Matt Grimes. Goes deep to around the penalty spot, headed away by Nunez. Allen guides it down for Van Eyck in the centre of the half. Left-footed ball nodded down at the edge of the area by Kessler Hayden. Thomas can't get a touch. Rodoni strikes it goalwards. What a save by Walton. What a brilliant save. Down to his right-hand side. He's made two superb stops to keep a clean sheet for Ipswich thus far. That arguably is as good, if not better, than the save he made in the first half to deny Jack Rodoni there.
Dance, both very similar saves. The first one from Eccles in the first half was low down to his right-hand side. Exactly the same there from Rodoni in the right-hand side, the 18-yard box with his left foot. He's trying to bend it inside Walton's far post. Again, it's a big Inspector Gadget right hand that comes out, and just a good palm on it and actually palms it away. Another world-class save from Walton.
Thoughts of Perry Groves on Talksport 2. The game day phone-in is on Talksport from 5:30 tonight. Regular updates on Leeds United against Liverpool. Here come the changes for Coventry City, and Haji Wright is going to come on to replace Jack Rodoni, who's still working his way back to full fitness, let's not forget. And Kane Kessler Hayden is going to make way for Kai Andrews, the youngster. Andrews, who's never started for Coventry, came back from a Motherwell loan last season to Coventry. He's a Coventry Academy graduate, so he's going to pep up the attack. So there's lots of forward players on now for Coventry City, but time is running out. Quarter of an hour to go at Portman Road on your home of the EFL. Talksport 2, Ipswich 2 up. Right, bundled off the ball by Jack Clark, and no foul, said Paul Tierney, who was right on top of it. Now Leif Davis scampering down the left-hand side for the host. Plays the ball into the area, looking for the run of Azon, but Thomas got there first, but the offside flag has gone up against Ivan Azon. So it's not a throw into Ipswich, it's a free kick to Coventry.
Well, Leif Davis can do that all of the day and all of the night, just running up and down that left-hand side from the left-back position into the inside left position, but just a couple of times his final pass is just let him down. But you can just tell the confidence that Ipswich are playing this second half, because Leif Davis has played a lot further forward and been more influential.
You really got me there.
Did I get you going? But you always know what you're doing.
14 minutes to go on Talksport 2. Ipswich Town 2, Coventry City 0. Van Eyck for the visitors. Picks the ball up on halfway. Works it infield to Mason Clark. Now Allen takes over. Into the feet of Andrews. Tries to ride the block tackle from Clark, which he does. Haji Wright in the area, left-hand side. Can he get past a teammate? It's actually hit against Matasiwa and goes behind for another Coventry corner in front of the travelling fans. 2-0 Ipswich.
Yeah, Matasiwa just double up with Darnell Furlong in that right-back position, so that Haji Wright can't cut back inside. Goes for a corner for Coventry over on their left.
Which Matt Grimes is going across to take, where the Cobbold stand meets the Sir Ralph Ramsey. So a left-footed outswinger. Most of the Coventry players have stood just outside the 6-yard box. Sims on the 6-yard line. In it comes from Grimes, left-footed. Up go the heads. It's headed away by who else but Cedric Kipre for Ipswich Town, beating Bobby Thomas to it. De Silva into the feet of Kai Andrews for Coventry. Options left and right. Goes left for Grimes. He clips it back 5 yards or so to Jay De Silva. Right. Finds Andrews again. Andrews, edge of the area, feeds it to the American right, tried to play it back through for the run of Andrews, but it was intercepted. And Ipswich coming away on the counter-attack. Philogene brings it over halfway. Azon making a run through the inside left channel, but Philogene still has it. Slips in Leif Davis, plays it across the face of goal. A good defending by Van Ewijk. But it's not quite clear yet for Coventry City. Kayuste trying to get the better of Mason Clark, and he's done really well, the Swede. Down the left-hand side of the area, gets the better of Allen with a little bit of twinkle toes across the face of goal, and no one can stab it home for Ipswich to make it 3.
Yeah, Jack Clark, I think, just needs to stay out of the far post. That's brilliant play from Kayuste. He's had a little Michael Flatley foot over, got himself to the byline. I think if Jack Clark just stays out of the far post, he taps it in. He's gone into the centre forward position. The ball just sort of whips across the 6-yard box.
Oh, good run from Kayuste again. Left-hand corner of the area, faced up again by Jamie Allen. Bamboozled him last time, gets past him again. The cross has to be clawed away from under his crossbar by Rushworth. It was a left-footed cross from Kayuste, deflected off Jamie Allen. And Carl Rushworth had no option but to try and throw up his right glove, and he got something on it to keep it away.
Yeah, it's good goalkeeper from Rushworth, just making sure he kept his eye on the ball. Kayuste getting himself to the byline. Just looking at Kai Andrews, just come on, Dance. He's looked very, very lively in this sort of 5-6 minutes. He's touched the ball about 6 or 7 times. He's obviously playing through the middle with Ellis Sims. So when your substitutes, or they're impactors now, aren't they? You want them to have finishers. By the way, I was never one of them. I couldn't finish a fish supper. But Kai Andrews has had an effect on the game.
Van Ewijk with the cross from the right for Coventry, goes behind both Mason Clark and Sims. Jack Clark will pick it up now for Ipswich and just fires it up beyond halfway. Nunez gamely giving chase, but he won't catch that. Swindon 3, Bolton 0 in the FA Cup. Aaron Drinnan puts the League 2 side further clear. And Cheltenham 4, Buxton 2. The shot was on early in that game at Wadden Road, but Cheltenham in control. Isaac Hutchinson gets another for the Robins this afternoon. Just over 10 minutes to play here on Talksport 2 between Ipswich Town and Coventry City. Ipswich 2-0 up on the leaders. Remember, we've got Formula E coming up from 5 p.m. this afternoon. The Sao Paulo Grand Prix, the season opener for Formula E this season. John Jackson and Lewis McGlade will be your commentary team. Check that out for the first of the new season of Formula E motor racing. Now Milan Van Ewijk protecting the ball to allow Rushworth to come out and claim. Under pressure from Philogene. It's bowled out underarm to Thomas for Coventry. And Thomas spots the run of Mason Clark, who's come across to the right-hand side. Won't keep it in play, though. Let the ball run past him and then thought he could chase after it and keep it in play. Not so. It's going to be a throw to Ipswich Town instead in their left-back position. Time running out for Cov. 2-0 to Ipswich.
Yeah, just not happening for Coventry City in this second half there. Thomas just getting the ball. He's just roll it out to Mason Clark on this right-hand side. Again, he just misses him, puts it out of play. You hear the Ipswich Town fans in full voice now, and I think Kieran McKenna will probably say, Dance, that this has been their best performance in the second half, maybe, that they've had all season, especially with the opposition they're playing against. Coventry City obviously running away with the championship at the moment. And just looking at players standing up, Kipre's been outstanding at the left side centre half, and so is Nunez. I think he's probably had his best half since he's been here for Ipswich Town. He's run the show from that 10 position. His passing has been brilliant, got his assist for George Hurst's goal.
9 minutes to go. Ipswich 2, Coventry 0 on Talksport 2. Bobby Thomas for the Sky Blues has to work it back to Kitching.
Just looking at Ipswich, Dance out of position. They just go 4-4-2. Obviously leaving Azon with Nunez up front. But they're not sitting too deep. You can see Kieran McKenna actually saying to his back four, I don't want you, sitting too deep. I don't want you going on the edge of the 18-yard box. So the defensive line Ipswich are keeping at the moment is very, very disciplined.
Jamie Allen knocks it back for Kitching. In the centre circle for Coventry. Finds Van Ewijk on this near side, the right, but he's immediately closed down by Philogene, so has to turn the ball back into his own half for Thomas. Kitching again gets his head up, thinks about a long diagonal ball downfield. In the end, he'll play along the deck to find Andrews. Neat turn out to the left-hand side. Hadji right. up against Matusiwa. Tries to go beyond Matusiwa to the dead ball line. Got the cross in, cleared away by Dara O'Shea, and then Nunez very cleverly laid it off to Jack Clark. And then Nunez tried to give it back to Clark, but it's won back by Coventry. Wright finds Andrews. Thomas in space in the centre of the Ipswich half, the centre half. Drifts out towards the right-hand side, tried to play it into the feet of Sims, intercepted by Jayden Philogene. There's 4 against 3 for a moment for Ipswich. Marcelinho Nunez, early ball into the area. Kayuste giving chase, but Van Eyck watches it behind for a goal kick. Cleverly done by the Coventry right-back. 2-0 to Ipswich, though, on Talksport 2.
There's a really good chance there for Ipswich on the counter-attack. Obviously, Coventry got to commit bodies forward. Just looking for Philogene. Just played it out to that right-hand side to Jack Clark, and Jack Clark just trying to roll it across to Kayuste, just overhit it.
Sims finds Van Eyck in space, just inside the area, right-hand side, chips it into the near post. Kipre there again. The ball attracted to him like a magnet when the ball goes into the Ipswich penalty area. Just getting there for everything.
Kipre is the proverbial head on the stick, isn't he? His positional play's been brilliant. He's attacked the first ball. He's been outstanding, but Dance, he's very, very good in possession as well. You know, he's very calm. He doesn't just hoist the ball away. He just tries to play it and retain possession.
Fleetwood 2, Luton 1 in the FA Cup. Ethan Ennis puts the League 2 side ahead, and Exeter 3-0 up on Wycombe now in the same competition. Here comes a long throw from Milan Van Eyck for Coventry. Down went Thomas at the near post under pressure from Azon. Ipswich have cleared their lines, and it will be a throw-in bang on halfway. Blackburn against Sheffield Wednesday has been abandoned. I don't believe it. The waterlogged pitch again at Ewood Park, as it was when Ipswich were there earlier in the season. They were 1-0 up, Blackburn.
As they were against Ipswich, wasn't it?
They were.
Season.
They were. So second abandonment for Blackburn. But Charlton Portsmouth was also abandoned today, but that was for a serious medical emergency in the crowd that took an awful long time to sort out. Meanwhile, Preston have equalised against Millwall. That's 1-1. Harrison Armstrong. And QPR 2, West Brom 1. Honor Hegerberg gets a goal back for West Brom. Hibs 3, Falkirk 0 in the Scottish Premiership. 84.5 minutes gone on Talksport 2 here at Portman Road. Ipswich closing in on 3 very, very precious points against the league leaders. Coventry have got very little time to even earn a point here as things stand.
Yeah, they haven't really found any answers, Dan, have they, in this second half. Walton's had one brilliant world-class save and goal for Ipswich, low down to his right-hand side from Adoni. Apart from that, Coventry haven't really sort of posed Ipswich Town many problems. And say Ipswich, it's amazing the confidence. Like, it's just an injection of confidence from Egley's goal, you know, going in 1-0 up at half-time when it was a scrappy first half. Ipswich have been excellent in this second half, been a lot better in possession, a lot sharper.
And they've not taken the throw-in from the right place. There's going to be a yellow card for time wasting, I think, here. Going to be issued by Paul Tierney. I think it was for Darnell Furlong. Meantime, Everton have gone 3-0 up against Nottingham Forest in the Premier League at Hill Dickinson. That means they've won 4 out of 5, Everton. David Moyes working the oracle once again at Everton's brand new stadium. Here's Milan Van Eyck for Coventry City, 2-0 down, trying to release Ephraim Mason-Clark down the right. Guess who's there first for Ipswich? Answers on a postcard.
Begins with K. He's been special, K, to be fair.
He has been special, K.
Second half. Well, the whole game.
But Coventry still have it, but 4 minutes remain of normal time. De Silva into the feet of Andrews, gives it back to Jay De Silva. Wright, the American who's just back from a hip injury, feeds it down the left channel. Andrews trying to get the better of Matusiwa, who's just given it straight to Haji Wright, who can work his way into the penalty area, gets a shot that's blocked, and it will come off Andrews and go behind and end up being an Ipswich goal kick. It was Kiernan Dewsbury Hall that got that third goal for Everton, by the way. And Barrow of League 2 are now in front, 2-1 at Wigan of League 1. Lyle Canavan putting Barrow ahead in Lancashire.
Ipswich Town just got to be a bit careful, Dance, because Matusiwa just gave the ball away unnecessarily in that right back position. Come to Haji Wright, got the ball onto his right foot to get a shot away. Brilliant defender from O'Shea just got his body on the line and ricocheted back off of Hadji Wright for a goal kick for Ipswich Town.
Well, as it stands, it's going to be 4 wins in a row that Ipswich are going to be getting over Coventry. They did the double when they were in the Championship in the 23-24 season, plus they won 4-1 at the CBS Arena back in February in the FA Cup. So they've got a bit of a hex over Coventry at the moment. But what can Coventry do in these closing minutes? Ellis Sims drives the ball goalwards. It came off Kipre. It's going to be a corner kick to Coventry City late on at the Alf Ramsey stand end. 2-0 Ipswich lead.
Yeah, Coventry just get a little bit of pressure. Comes out to Ellis Sims, gets his right foot shot away. Good defending again from Kipre. Make sure he gets the block. So this is now just about high concentration levels for Ipswich Town, because the last thing you want to do is give Coventry a goal in this last couple of minutes.
Grimes with the corner, looking for Sims, headed up in the air by Dara O'Shea, heads it further clear, hooked back into the box by Thomas, but everybody from Coventry was running out of the penalty area. Watched the ball sail over their heads and bounce through to Christian Walton. And we shouldn't forget his contribution for Ipswich this afternoon, Christian Walton, with the terrific saves he's made, one in either half, from Eccles and Radoni, to keep the clean sheet that Ipswich are currently protecting.
Well, if you look at Ipswich Town, Dance, they're outstanding players through the spine of the team. Obviously, Walton pulled off 2 world-class saves. Kipre's been outstanding on the left side centre half. Nunes has been the best player up on the pitch in this second half, most creative. And then George Hurst, to be fair to him, who struggled in the first half, took his goal really well and made sure that he didn't hide and put Ipswich 2-0 up, and it just came a bit comfortable.
Mason Clark is fouled by Philogene, moving towards the last minute of normal time. Sammy Smodics is going to get a few minutes, having just come back from injury for Ipswich Town.
All right, picks up a nice little win bonus, just runs around for 5 minutes.
But he won't come on just yet for Ipswich, because they've got a free kick to defend here, which is Coventry's, taken short down the right-hand side from Grimes, who gets it back from Van Eyck, puts a left-footed ball into the penalty area, headed across the face of goal and well claimed by Walton. It was Kitching that got the header down. Sims was closest to the keeper, but a good, comfortable catch from Christian Walton, and the clean sheet is preserved once again, 2-0.
Yeah, Kitching trying to create a boiling point. For him, he didn't header it back across the 6-yard box. Just headed it straight to Christian Walton. That was one of the most simple saves he's had of the evening. Just collects it with both the palms of his hands, then just releases the ball up front, gets the ball far away from his own goal as possible. Now Ipswich Town, so just sitting deeper, just letting Coventry have the ball, making sure they don't come out of their 4-4-2 shape.
The board goes up with 5 minutes of additional time starting now here at Portman Road on Talksport 2. 5 minutes or so then separate Ipswich from 3 points as the ball's cleared out of play by Dara O'Shea onto the roof of the Cobbold stand and just lands in the gutter. One of the YTS lads going to have to
in
go
the
up
old
and fetch
days,
that.
that would be the apprentices, but now health and safety, there's no way they're going on the roof.
So Sammy Smodics is back, and Nunes. I bet a year ago Ipswich fans would never thought they'd be singing happy songs to Marcelino Nunez, but here they are, very happy with his performance this afternoon for Ipswich Town as he goes off to be replaced by the returning Sammy Smodics, who gets a big cheer coming back from injury.
Dance, I think there'd probably be different hand movements of the Ipswich Town fans towards Nunes rather than clapping, because he's just got a standing ovation, which he deserves for his second half performance. To say he's been outstanding, his passing range has been brilliant, got his assist for George Hurst's goal.
2-0 to Ipswich as stoppage time is now a minute old. Off to the Formula E Sao Paulo Grand Prix next on Talksport 2. Whilst on Talksport, the game day phone-in with Jamie O'Hara. And I'm not sure whether it's Jason Cundy today. It might be, but it's certainly Jamie O'Hara. He'll be happy with Spurs.
Don't think he'll have a lot of fun
Brentford.
with Arsenal getting beat.
Oh God, yeah, he'll be.
Spurs are back. They're back.
He'll be climbing into your lot.
Arsenal bottled it.
So 91 and a half minutes played. Nunez gets the sponsors man of the match award. And I did say in the first half, I thought he was the one bright spot that Ipswich had in what was a more cagey first period. But certainly second half, he's gone through the gears. Coventry in possession. needing 2 goals just to earn a point. Here's Mason Clark down the right-hand side for the visitors, trying to twist and turn away from Leif Davis. Philogene trying to help out. Gets down toward the corner flag. He wins a throw in the end as Mason Clark off Philogene. Van Eyck is going to wind up for another long throw into the box, and this one surely has got to count if Coventry are going to have any chance. He's taking it short. As soon as to say that to Grimes, who curls a ball into the area, headed out by O'Shea, but the offside flag has gone up against Coventry City. And Ipswich appear to be easing towards 3 points here, Perry Groves.
Yeah, so they haven't had any response, really, Coventry. No, it's not through lack of effort, lack of endeavour, but just we saw them last week against Charlton Dance, and they were very smooth, weren't they? And they were very assured. It hasn't been like that here today. And you have to give Ipswich Town credit, because the first half was very bitty, very disjointed, and that's exactly how Ipswich probably wanted it, so Coventry couldn't come here and dominate the game. And in the second half, say Ipswich have played with a lot more verve, a lot more confidence, and thoroughly deserved at the moment.
Now a foul by Thomas on Kayuste, just going in on the back of the head of the Swede. So we now have 3 minutes of the minimum 5 gone. Ipswich 2, Coventry 0. The Championship leaders set to drop points. Hasn't happened many times this season, just once before.
Well, it's a good chance for Ipswich Town to get a bit of momentum down, haven't they? They had 3 away games before this home game here, 3 of the next 4.
Well, yes, next up for Ipswich, Stoke here in midweek, and then Leicester away next weekend, Sheffield Wednesday to come at home, Millwall, and then Coventry away just before New Year's Day when they're at home to Oxford. Long ball downfield looking for Ellis Sims, heads it up in the air, brings it down himself at the edge of the D, lofts it towards the left-hand side of the area looking for Andrews. Great challenge from Darnell Furlong to win it back, and now Jack Clark releases Azon down the left-hand side, can get into the area, pulled across the face of goal, it's blocked, comes back to Azon, goes for the far corner and settles it in emphatic fashion. Ipswich Town win by 3-0. It's only Coventry City's second defeat of the Championship season, and after a cagey first half, Ipswich have gone through the gears in the second half, and Ivan Azon sets the seal on the 3 points with the 3rd goal right at the end of added time. Ipswich Town 3, Coventry City 0.
Azon comes on and he makes sure that the game is gone for Coventry City. There's a good break from Jack Clark, just recent Azon on this left-hand side. First dance, he took his shot on, it got blocked, looked like he'd taken too much time. Then the ball came back to him. He thought, right, I'll give it another go. And his right foot gets it out of his feet, bends it low past Rushworth's left-hand side. Really good finish from Azon. Uses Thomas as a shield, just wraps it round him. Game done and dusted. The Ipswich Town fans are absolutely delirious here at Portman Road.
Only his 2nd goal for Ipswich on loan from Cesc Fabregas's Como. He's made it 3-0, and there goes the full-time whistle. Joy at Portman Road as Ipswich Town take all 3 points and condemn Coventry City, the runaway leaders, to only their 2nd defeat this season. And after a cagey first half, it looked like he was going to be goalless at the break until young Sindre Egeli, the Norwegian, stepped up right on half-time to sweep a lovely ball in with his left foot into the bottom corner. In the second half, well, it just got better and better for Ipswich Town. They were indebted to their goalkeeper, Christian Walton, for making excellent saves from Eccles in the first half and Bredoni in the second. But George Hurst, on the hour, put Ipswich further clear, breaking in between defenders and firing home from just inside the box. And then, as Coventry were trying in vain to push for a goal which never came, Ivan Azon broke clear and at the second attempt fired it in for 3-0. So a rare bad day at the office for Frank Lampard and Coventry City. They still are well clear at the top of the Championship table, but Ipswich are very happy to be back in the top 4 of England's second tier with this result. Full time at a joyous Portman Road is Ipswich Town 3, Coventry City 0.
Ian, thank you very much. A huge win for Ipswich, as Dance was saying there, as it moves them back into the playoff positions. And although Coventry are 7 points clear at the top of the table in this busy period of this EFL season, it's you never know how these 3 points missed could end up being costly come the end of this season. But let's review the game with Perry Groves then. And I think it's just a case of full credit to Ipswich. They did everything that was right and earned them that victory.
Yeah, very much, especially in the second half. The first half, we said it was sort of very bitty, very sort of stagnated. Neither team really got control of the game. The highlight was a world-class save from Christian Wharton low down to his right-hand side with Eccles just trying to bend it past him with his left foot. He just put the ball onto the post. He obviously kept Ipswich in the game. And Ipswich going front with a really good finish from Egley in the 43rd minute. Little roll back from Philogene, just whips it across his body, gives Russell absolutely no chance. Ipswich going 1-0 up at half-time, and it's amazing. You watch loads of football, obviously you watch your beloved Brentford. It's amazing what a goal can do for confidence. It's just like someone gives you an injection in your veins. You've got an extra half a yard to a yard. You want the ball more. Ipswich came out in the second half and they were outstanding. They pressed Coventry back. I mentioned about Nunes was outstanding in the 10 position. You know, he started to make things tick. Brilliant assist for Hurst. Just a little ball over the top. And I've got to mention Hurst as well now, because in the first half, he really, really struggled. You know when someone just looks very, very tense, you know, they look like they haven't got any confidence. But I think you judge players' character when things aren't going well. And he kept going and he kept getting himself in the right positions. He missed the one-on-one early in the second half with Rushworth, where he telegraphed where he was going to put it and Rushworth saved to his left. But he still kept trying to get him behind, and he made the run in behind. Coventry kept too high a line. Great little ball over top from Nunes, and he got the ball out of his feet, and he had the idea in his head before he was actually finished it. You know, he knew exactly what he was going to do, and with his right foot, he opened got his body, just slightly past Rushworth. Ipswich go 2 up half an hour. Let's be honest, Nat, even then, the game was done and dusted because Coventry didn't have any answers.
Well, in this busy period, like I've said, when you're coming into the Christmas sort of schedule, when there's these quick turnarounds, this is when it's a real opportunity for sides to gain momentum, move up the table, which is what Ipswich will hope to do. And I guess also, every other team who are vying for promotion might just be applauding Ipswich right now for getting extra points off Coventry and maybe closing that gap a little bit.
Yeah, well, it goes to 7 points now from Middlesbrough, but the big thing for Ipswich Town is they're only 5 points behind Middlesbrough in that second place, you know, so you want to get momentum at the right time. He made Kieran McKenna 4 changes, you know, to the front four, and the front four all played really well today. Hurst got his goal, Egley got his goal as well, also playing on the right hand side. I thought Philogene had good connections with Davis on the left, and Nunes was the outstanding forward player in the second half. But as well in dispatches, I've got to mention Ipswich Town's centre-half, Cedric Kipre. He was absolutely outstanding. It was like a head on a stick. Everything that came into the box, he got his head onto it. He was very good in his 1v1s. He was good in possession. So through the spine of Ipswich's team, they had top performances, and that's what you have to have against a team like Coventry City. So the Ipswich Town fans, there was over 29,000 here today. They'll be going now with the belief and think, right, that was probably Ipswich Town's best performance in the second half of the season, and that's exactly what they need in the second half of the season if they want to get automatic promotion.
Problem is, for Coventry, no easy fixture, as we always say in every league really, but their next 3 are against teams who are all in and around the playoff mix. It's Preston away, Bristol City at home, followed by Southampton before Boxing Day. Teams that, as I say, are trying to challenge, trying to get into those all-important top 6 places. So things do not get any easier for them.
No, not at all. It's amazing that when you look at the Championship, Stoke City in 6th place on 30 points. You go down to the 16th place, West Brom on 25. So all of those teams will be thinking they've still got a chance of getting in those playoff positions, and that's why we love the Championship. There's always jeopardy in every game that we come and see, and you're saying for Ipswich Town's point of view, said, they need momentum. Coventry, Frank Lampard's on their second defeat of the season. He'll be thinking, right, it's just a bad day at the office, then they've got to go again. The last time they lost against Wrexham, they went on and won the next 5.
Yeah.
So he'll be looking at his team. They've had a few injuries. Obviously, Haji Wright sort of coming back today, which is a good sign for them. But he just didn't have a lot of options on the bench, to try and change the game.
This is what I was going to say. At the end of the day, it feels like squad depth might be a bit of a problem for Frank Lampard currently.
Yeah, well, he had 2 goalkeepers on the bench today, didn't he? That's a little, well, it's not even subtle, is it, to the owner, Doug King? That's like, by the way, I need more outfield players. So you've got, say, Haji Wright sort of come back today. You have the top scorer, Thomas Asante, who's obviously injured. Torp was injured today as well. So we're just hoping he can get those players back. But because the Championship is so relentless, that you need a strong squad. You need squad depth, because we've seen with Kieran McKenna, he made Claudio Ranieri look like he was just like very, very normal in his team selections, because he's tinkered more than what Claudio Ranieri has. But it worked today. It worked today. The 4 that he changed up front were very, very good. So if you're those 4, you'll be thinking, boss, you don't want to be leaving me out because I deserve to play in the next game.